One. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Dragonflight. I am super excited to be here with these fantastic people that I have had the wonder to work with before, but this is our first game together. I'm so excited. I'm Jeremy Hochhalter. This is my channel here, but let's go around and do a quick round of introductions before we jump into our game today. Why don't we start with Megan? Why don't you tell us who you are and who you are playing today?
My name is Meagan Moracle, and I am playing George, the Green Dragon Knight.
Awesome. Who would you like to go next?
Oh goodness, you're making me call people out? Oh god. Well, in situations like this, I always go alphabetical. First or last? Let's go alphabetical by first. Brian.
Hi, I'm Brian Suskind. I'm one of the Cobalt Press designers. I am playing General Sando Tuvanal, the great and mighty general who, clearly is going to lead us all to victory on this day.
Excellent. And who would you like to go next?
I want Megan to go again.
Oh, wait. Brian, tell us about Sando's little friend.
That's right. Well, yes, the great general, of course, needs a proper adjutant, and so he has a Batman in the form of Feza, who is a dragon, sworn pixie, who makes sure that his camp is taken care of, and he has tea when he needs it, and make sure his scales are buffed so that he shines and everybody can pay attention to him. Just the usual kind of thing.
Right? And I do feel like I should point out that that's not rules legit, but when he said Dragon Sworn Pixie, of course.
Clearly, I wouldn't have a normal Dragon Sworn.
Right?
I mean, someone of my stature demands something unique.
I love it. All right, so besides Megan, who would you like to go next?
All right, well, I'm gonna go vertically on my screen, so I'm gonna go to Richard.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm Richard Green. I'm also a designer at Cobalt Press, and I am playing Nailair, who is a Bronze Dragon Knight.
Excellent. And who would you like?
I will go sideways to Sebastian.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Sebastian Rombach. I am also a Cobalt Press freelance designer. Today I'm playing Rilhuth Nereith, a Copper Dragon Arcanist.
Nice.
And I'll bounce that ball over to Mike.
Hello there. I am Hino. My character's Hino. I'm Mike Wello. I am Hino, a Copper Arcanist who is a clutchmate of Rilhu.
I believe in Copper Dragon supremacy.
Perfect. And you'll get to practice and see if you can make that a dream of tomorrow, or rather the dream come true for tomorrow, as we dive into this episode of Dragonflight. So, all of you are what would be considered young adults. You have recently entered into adulthood according to your dragon code. And some of you have just recently even been awoken from the slumber that you have to go through, really, for your body to adjust to this aging. And you were awoken in somewhat of a hurry. There is a sense of need and sorry, my brain just turned off already, and we're only like 2 minutes in. Urgency. There's definitely a sense of urgency there that you've been awoken with, and a group of dragons that all of you know, whether or not you know them personally or at least have heard of them, awoke you to inform you that there's the beginnings, the grumblings of a war going on. And so over the last several days, maybe a few weeks, you've done some preparations to really prepare yourselves, but also prepare these little squishy, two-legged, mostly creatures known as mortals. Even though you technically have a lifespan, it goes eons over what, even elves do. So you just refer to them as mortals. And there's kind of a disjunction. There's a separation between what dragons in this strange world believe in. Some of you believe in coexisting with these mortals, and some of you believe in maybe not coexisting, but understanding that they have their place and just kind of letting them be. But then there's another faction of dragons, and these don't really care for, we'll say, the rights of sentient creatures to exist unless they're dragons. And so they view pretty much everything else as part of the food chain with them at the top. And there's even been times in the past where these dragons have caused issues with other dragons who don't agree with them. So they definitely feel like they're the top, and then there's other dragon kind who don't agree with them, and then there's everyone else. However, they are not above using mortals or other creatures to get their to use them within like their plots and plans. And so recently the dragons had heard that vast armies were being built and being sent out to conquer other areas. So with that in mind, I am going to move us over to this map where you all have joined a dragon known as Levnosan. As we're looking at the map, you see your armies of mortals down below you. And you don't necessarily need to be where you are placed. We'll get to that in just a moment. But what's important to you, that even though there is this, there's some buildings down here that are apparently important to the mortals. And for some of you, that might also be important. But what's really important to Dragonkind is this mount, this kind of shorn off peak that Levnosan is resting on currently, watching this army approach. This is a like a hatchery or rookery for dragons. You can go down inside the mountain, and there are chambers where multiple species of dragons are, their eggs are held safely. And it seems that these dragons that don't necessarily share your opinions are coming to take over this area. You've heard rumors that this is going on all over the place, and these dragons that you were here with are the ones who have been sent to aid you in the defense of this area. So with that in mind, why don't we start with, well, we'll start with the general. General, where do you think you'd be placed, and what would you be doing as you prepare for this coming battle?
I mean, clearly, if our overall commander is taking position upon that peak, I must be next to him so I can give him the proper advice, and as is my wont. But I think before anything, Feza is busily casting prestidigitation upon my scales to make sure they are perfectly clean and shining, so that all might behold my greatness. Perfect. So she's probably doing that as we fly over.
Excellent.
And, yeah, so she's probably perched, like this. Yes. As I polish up the scales, we're advancing.
I love it. All right, so George, what is George up to as they prepare? I should have asked you all of these questions beforehand. I'm just making assumptions. I'm going to say they for all of you. What is George doing?
George is dedicated to protecting the weak, as his knightly father taught him. So he would probably be, if there's like a cave entrance or something, maybe at the ground level of this hatchery, he's like standing there in front, like, no one's going to get through me to get these eggs.
Perfect. Yeah, there are definitely some lower areas. They're smaller, like dragons, like the ones that are up on top of the mountain right now definitely would not fit, but you certainly would, being small but fierce.
Yeah.
Awesome. And do you want to tell us why your dragon is named George?
My dragon is named after his knightly father, who was a dragon slayer, and eventually reformed because, you don't really want to slay eggs because that's kind of not really nice and doesn't really
Right.
adhere to the knightly code. So, I am his knightly offspring, and I have bits of his armor. Still, he passed away years ago, so there's like a small shield on my back that's like white with a little red cross.
Aw.
So I carry his name and his armor to remind me to uphold the ways of a true knight.
Awesome. I'm going to go back to Brian in just a second because we didn't talk about what you look like, but what does George look like? What color dragon are you?
Oh, George is a green dragon.
Perfect. And Brian, what color is Sando?
Well, the general is a mighty brass
Fishing.
dragon.
Perfect. Let's see. How about Hino? What is Hino doing to prepare for this battle?
Kino knows that mortal lives are extremely short and knows that people are going to be worried about their lives and such. So he's going to go around and rally, try to kind of lighten the mood a little bit with some jokes and other forms of levity. Just try to get them all hyped up for the battle. That half of them are probably going to die, but
Nice.
because people don't like to hear that.
Why don't you have Hino make a performance check? I feel like that's a thing that, depending on how it works out, you might provide some sort of inspiration for the troops.
Okay. So that's just going to be a charisma check,
Okay. Well,
which
21 is not a bad start for the game. All right, what is Hino's best joke?
what did why did the dragon cross the
Why?
to eat all the chickens?
For you dragons, it might fall a little bit flat, but there's just this ripple of laughter that goes through the troops as they're preparing. And I'm gonna go ahead and give they're gonna have some inspiration as we continue.
Okay.
And what
Fantastic.
kind of dragon is Hino?
He knows, and his scales were a bit tarnished. Doesn't really take care of his scales.
Gotcha. What does the general think about that?
Fez and I have discussed it at great detail. And, if not for this battle, we would certainly talk to Hino a great deal about proper composure before the mortals. But in this moment of great strife and danger, perhaps the battle itself takes precedent only by a little bit.
Understandable.
Smallest portion.
All right. So why don't we have Real Who tell us about what they would be doing as they prepare?
So as this call to action is happening, Ruhu wasn't preparing at all. In fact, is over there on the far side of that mountainous range, tormenting a trio of goblins. Ruhu likes to play with his food and using his powers of illusion and arcana. He's been tormenting these poor, haggard goblins. And when the call to action happens, he finishes them off and enjoys them for the delicious food, nourishing bits of flesh that they are. Then he coils his long, coppery body with verdigris scales up a tree. He's got like a long serpentine body. He leaps off the tree, snapping the tree in half under his weight before flying towards where he's being called to.
Perfect. And so, and even though we talked about how to pronounce this, Rich, you're gonna have. Thank you. So tell me about Naylor and where and what Naylor is doing to prepare for this.
So she is. She can't really stand the thought of all of these mortals being in terrible danger. It's simply not on, and she is going to be heading to the front line. She is absolutely ready to take on whoever is at the front. She's going to be leading the charge. The general's maybe given her some orders, but she's not really paying much attention to that. She's just going to be straight at the front, going for the biggest thing she can see, and taking that enemy down, because these mortals have to be protected. They're poor, pathetic creatures, and they need us to look after them.
Isn't that the truth? All right. So as you're all taking care of these different things and preparing for the battle, for the bulk of the day, there's been this storm on the horizon. It seems like it's slowly been getting closer, but against that darkening cloud, you can see some shapes begin to appear, become much more recognizable as winged shapes. You see 3 fairly large ones that you recognize as dragons. They're hard to miss, but you just see like maybe some others that maybe are not so draconic in shape, as well as what looks like clouds of very small creatures. And beneath them is a dust cloud that seems to herald the coming of a fairly decent sized ground force. And as they get closer to the mount and to the small area of mortals that you're protecting, you do start to notice the shine of light, of sunlight glinting off of bone, and of desiccated gray flesh and glinting armor. And you realize that whatever comprises this army that's moving towards you has been picking up extra combatants along the way, raiding other battlefields and graveyards, and now there seems to be a bolstered army, something larger than you were expecting, that heads your way, filled with the undead. What would you like to do?
I think Feza turns to me and says, "General, sir, undead approaching." Yes, Feza, I see that. And I'm gonna call out to George and say, "You there, small one. Beware the
yes,
undead
sir.
there.
Where
Beware
the
the undead there. They will. Our flaming breath will not be as useful against them." And I'm going to grant you a. I'm going to actually, how far are we from them? Actually, I probably should ask some important questions like that. Clearly, I would know, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Right. How far are you away from which?
From the front line of the.
You think that they'll be here within the next 10 to 15 minutes from what you can see. They're still like getting closer, it's just becoming more obvious. Oh, we lost Mike. That's all right. Mike will catch up.
Battle's not going well.
We've had our first fatality.
Attacking at all. Yeah, I think we need. Yeah. So I'll say. Yeah, small one. We must protect our forces from this undead scourge.
Okay. And next to you, the large golden dragon that rests on the mount with you nods in agreement and just rumbles. You know that he doesn't really talk all that much, but when he does, it's usually best to pay attention, but he seems to be relying heavily upon your skills in combat, your planning.
That's Lev Nosan, right? That was his
believe
name?
So.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Thanks. I have the map behind all of you, so I have to window back over. All right, so welcome back, Mike. Maybe.
We should move the forces forward.
Okay.
And to block up that pass. If they get through, we can bottleneck them there.
All right, so you want to start moving the ground forces forward and like catch them before they reach.
Yeah, before, so we can block this sort of pass here, and then.
Okay.
We have another pass coming over here, but maybe we'll direct some draconic forces that way.
So due to the large battlefield nature of this, we're going to do a lot of just kind of theater of the mind for this. But you can definitely let me know as far as if there are specifics that you are like to pass if you're trying to hold it, or if there are... You will start to notice the commanders, for example, if you want to go after certain ones of them rather than doing mass damage to swaths of skeletons and stuff. You're going to explain to me what you're doing. So as the general calls out and the forces, the ground forces, begin to move forward, are you all going with them, or are you doing your own things?
I'm throwing real quick that
Yeah.
While my character does say he's a tactical genius, I am not. So I'm like, certainly don't like listen. You know, your character should listen, but we can just discuss as a group. I'm not the best at this.
That's totally fair.
Well,
And
you have me convinced.
we'll take the consensus as your tactical genius. How's that?
Yeah, that'd be probably safer.
Welcome back, Mike. How are things going over there?
Okay, sorry. Discord blew up on me.
It happens. It definitely happens. And if it doesn't happen during a stream, something is wrong. All right. So yeah, the general has called to move forward. So let's start with George. George, what are you doing? Are you following?
I think George is mostly focused on making sure that nobody gets in where the eggs are. But if the forces are like so far away, then I think George is like, okay, as long as I can still see the entrance, I think we're good. So like he'll move a little bit forward, but probably be like behind the main line, so that he can like keep eyes on that entrance.
All right. So what I'm going to do is here on the map, I'm just going to move some of you to be a little bit more where you're heading. As soon as oh, there you are. So I'm going to grab these dragons and move you forward. And I'll describe these things as you go. And perfect, George, you're right there. And Real Who's moving up. Awesome. Hino, what are you up to?
I'm going to kind of stay with a group of the smaller folk.
Okay.
And keep them safe.
Perfect.
Much as I can harm.
Is there a group that you prefer? It seems like there are some small groupings of people that are kind of in the back, whereas the larger contingents of fighters are up front. The ones in the back are more spellcasters, and they're being protected from the melee. But there are some other melee fighters that are kind of in the back, waiting to see if anyone... They don't want to leave the spellcasters wide open should flying creatures come in. So, which area do you want to try and protect?
Well, I'll get up. I'll get up with the group of melee. I don't know. The cat folk look interesting.
Okay,
so.
Perfect. Yeah, there's a group of cat folk there that are preening just before they get ready to head off, because much like the general, they want to look their best, right? Oh wait, there's a box over here. One runs over and sits in it quick.
Deal with those things before battle, yes.
Right. Nelaire, what are you up to?
I think I'm going to try and... everyone's going on this right-hand side, so I think I'm going to go on the left-hand side.
Okay.
Is this guy here one of the enemies, or is that the front of our...
That's
ranks?
one of your Dragonborn contingents.
Okay, what about this small black dragon here?
That is going to be an enemy dragon that will be appearing momentarily.
I'm going to head in that direction.
Perfect. Yeah, you can definitely see the dragons whisking their way towards that group of soldiers. And why don't we go ahead and roll initiative? Make sure you click on your token before you hit your initiative button.
Okay.
All right.
Because for some reason...
Die rollers.
Where even is the initiative?
Oh.
So on your sheet, it should be the
Is
little.
it just X? Oh no, little button. Got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
I still have to roll.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect.
Oh,
All
I
right.
guess Feather. Or does she go on my turn?
She can go in your turn. That's fine.
Yeah, that makes it easier.
And then I need to roll for all of them.
They don't have to go. It's
Right?
fine. They can hold still and let us destroy them
Go
as
on
they
zero.
should.
You go at the end.
I like hunting, not farming. Give me a challenge, please.
Okay, kids can move around.
All
Just back.
right. So, Real Who, as you're whisking through the air, you see only 3 dragons. It seems that they're relying heavily upon these ground forces. And you also see some other flying creatures that aren't quite as fast as the dragons. They look like some are giant bats. They're pretty clear, and others seem like swarms of maybe smaller bats or other small flying creatures. It's hard to tell.
And that's what I'm looking at right here. If I ping, these are the bats.
That is what you're looking at right there. Perfect.
Excellent. What kind of formation are they in? How high up in the air are they?
It doesn't really seem like they are following any kind of formation. In fact,
Okay.
as you look down upon this massive grouping, there doesn't seem to be really any sense to it. It just looks like a bunch of undead crawling or, shambling their way forward. The bats seem to be kind of haphazard in the way they're flying about. The giant bats are a little bit better as far as heading toward you, but even the swarms of bats are just kind of following so much as being
Sure.
intentful.
So I approach them,
Okay.
and I change into a shape reminiscent of them.
Oh, nice.
Assuming the form of a bat. And as I slide into their formation with them, I'm going to need them to each creature within 30 feet of you with a challenge rating of character level equal to half of your character level rounded down. So CR6 or less. I'm going to need all of them to make wisdom saving throws. They're going to have to be to 17, or they're going to be charmed by me.
You have a large grouping of bats fluttering around you that are very charmed by you now.
Cool. I want to persuade them to go bother someone else.
Okay.
Whether I can do that on my turn or not, because I've taken an action. I'll leave that to you. But it's my aim to neutralize them rather than kill them outright.
Gotcha. So your magic would charm them. How would you tell them? I guess in your squeaky bat voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. Just making sure I'm following. They didn't seem very into this anyway, and that group of bats just kind of. It's not really with like a very set direction. They just kind of swirl around a bit and then start flying off over west on the map.
Excellent.
We're just gonna remove that group of bats, but you are still a bat until you do
Sure.
something else.
And I've taken my action, so I think I'm just about to use up all that I have. However, I would like to continue to fly with them towards west. And
Sure.
What am I looking at right here?
That actually looks like a group of. There are some undead in there, but you notice interspersed amongst them, there's some red hides with horns, spiky tails, and large bat wings. Looks like there are some kind of demons or devils that are working their way up that outcropping of rock there.
Goody. And then last is, what do I see over here out over the water?
They are actually, because everyone moved up, they're not quite there yet, but you do see what looks like some undead that are being led by some mortals that
Okay.
are dressed in robes and stuff. They're in boats, and it looks like there's like zombies like pushing the the pusher sticks. That's a word. I mean, that's the technical term, right?
Like a barge pole, yeah.
The barge pole. Thank you. That's like they're directing it and everything. Looks like they're trying to get around to the back of where everyone is set up.
Okay.
All right.
I think that'll end it for me then.
Sounds
I don't
good.
want to do anything else right this time. I'll see my turn.
All right, so Hino, you have settled in over here with the catfolk. Are you flying, or have you settled down on the ground?
I'm flying.
Okay.
I'm flying. Is this blue dragon here actually that close?
Blue. Yeah. So that one is about that close. He is in the air, or it is in the air, and it looks like it will be arriving next turn.
Okay. All right. Well, I will wait for him to arrive then. I've got some little trickery that I want to try out on him.
Okay. Is there an action that you want to hold?
I'm gonna cast compulsion
Okay. Sounds good.
on the dragon.
Perfect. All right. So the Great General Sando. What does the Great General Sando do?
I see these guys up here on top of this rise, who look
Yeah.
little rangy, maybe wizards of some sort.
It does. Yeah, it does look like there. So it looks like a dragon swooped down and dropped them off, like they were riding that dragon. Looks like there's some casters over there of some kind that are surrounded by ethereal-looking shapes. They look somewhat humanoid, but it looks like maybe parts of them are missing or fade off into the ethereal.
Okay. And is this dragon here yet? The kind of big.
That one is currently on the ground, being on the mountain there.
Okay. I'm gonna fly close enough, and I'm gonna breathe on these guys.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we're talking con or dex save?
Well, it looks like a dex save.
Excellent.
Be a fail.
Tell me about your breath.
Well, it's a burning line of incandescent heat, and I'm gonna try to get as many as I can in that beam. I want to focus on the casters specifically.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that damage when you can.
I didn't roll. Let's see.
And it's up to you on whether you want to roll or take your average. I will let you all choose that, because sometimes that average is so much better.
Yeah, I'll take the average right now just because I didn't have my dice ready.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
60 damage on a failed save. So 60 fire. And then I'm going to examine that dragon using my plan of attack feature.
Oh, perfect.
And so that way I can detect a flaw in his defenses and I can call it out to one of my allies.
Okay. Is there any kind of thing that you need to do for that as far as making a roll, or does it need to make a save or anything like that?
No, it doesn't seem to be. It seems like it says before the start of my next turn, if one or if I myself or one of my allies that can see or hear me hits the target, they deal additional 60-12.
Nice.
So,
all right.
maybe I'll call out to Richard's character, whose name is
Nailer.
Nerla?
Nailer.
Nailer. And I'll say, this one here, vulnerable. Notice his vulnerable spot. Yeah.
So as your like incandescent heat breath just tears through this group of ethereal creatures and casters, many of them fall to it. The casters themselves, charred bone and flesh is left behind, whereas several of the ethereal creatures just vaporize and disappear. Anything else?
Yeah, well, Feza is going to swoop down.
Okay.
And she's going to cast a spell. She's going to cast Confusion on the dragon.
Excellent.
Needs a... that fails.
Yeah, even with
that
the dragon's
dragon is-
bonus, that would be terrible.
So DC 17 or 18. Sorry. Fusion.
Let's see. We'll call this marker confusion. Oh, marker, you're so tiny. If I forget, remind me that that dragon is confused because the little
Will do.
marker is immensely tiny. Immensely tiny. All right. So, does Bezra do anything else?
And so I guess it's a 10-foot radius sphere, but I'm assuming that dragon's probably bigger than 10 feet.
True.
I confused the dragon, sir. Yes, Fezza. And she's just staying close to me. At the moment.
Okay.
So that's
Sounds
about it.
good. So, Nylair, what do you do?
So I'm gonna unleash my primal fury, tapping into the animalistic and predatory instincts buried deep inside all dragons. There's a very long explanation there, but
It is.
basically, I've gone berserk, and I have advantage on all my attacks with natural weapons.
Okay.
My natural weapons are going to do more damage, and I'm going to tear into this black dragon in front of me.
Perfect.
So I'm going to try and bite it first. So I get advantage on this. So that's just 26 to hit.
Yes, that will hit.
And that's going to do 12 piercing, 6 lightning, and an extra 5 for the primal fury. So that's 23 damage.
Nice bite.
And then I will also attack. One attack with your bite, 2 with your claws. So I got 2 claw attacks now as well. So the first one is a critical.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if that worked. That's not worked out the critical, has it? So what do I do? How do I do another dice of damage?
So
Could roll
looks-
2d8.
Oh, yeah.
To get this thing. I have to get the dice roller thing up. Hang on.
Do you want me to roll it, or?
I got it.
Perfect.
Okay, so that 19, 9, 28 plus 5 again, 33 damage. My maths is not going to be very good at this time of night. And then I attack one more time with claws.
Dragons.
And that's 10 slashing plus 5, so another 15 damage.
Whew.
Ouch down.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, letting into this dragon, you like your sight just goes red as you just begin tearing away scales. The dragon roars at you and will likely retaliate momentarily. Is there anything else?
I'm just going to say, leave the little people alone!
Richard, it did roll a second damage roll for you, by the way. That was the plus 11 plus 8.
Got it.
Just
Got
for
it. I may
further reference.
have added slightly too much damage on them.
1 point, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Gotcha.
You get to keep it.
Perfect. So, after Nylair finishes up, that dragon is going to attempt to bite Nylair back
Uh-oh.
because
Damn it.
that's so mean.
Look out!
Oops. Except for I opened the wrong sheet. So let's do it this way. Oop. Plus.
I was going to say that didn't look like that was enough.
I think what I need to do. There it is. I always forget with Roll20 that you have to open NPCs a certain way to get their clickables as opposed to their just sheet. Alright, well that is a critical fumble.
Perhaps
Oh.
it did its
Actually, it does get advantage on you, doesn't it?
I don't think so.
Because you are berserking or whatever.
It doesn't know. No, I don't think so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Then-
it's not like a barbarian.
Okay.
I can only do it twice a day, or twice a rest. So no, I don't think it does.
So it snaps its jaws at you, and like it snaps so hard that like some of its teeth kind of crack some, and you can see little shards fall out of its mouth. Yipes. It is going to take another swing at you with its claws. 2 of them, in fact. One is a 24 and one is a 22.
So 24 hits, but
Okay.
22 misses because I am AC 23.
So it does manage to like just scratch against your scales enough to deal 9 slashing damage.
Okay.
I can buff that out, sir. No, after the battle, Fezza.
So those 2 are locked in combat. This dragon takes back to the air and flies up to the great
Except he's
General
confused.
Sando.
Except he is confused.
Oh,
Perhaps he does not do
see?
that.
See? That's what happens when I don't... so you need to roll a d8, is that correct?
10.
D10, thank you. That is a 5.
And with a 5, he does not move or take actions this turn.
Nice. So in his
Thanks.
mind, he thinks he flies over there and deals you a terrible blow, but instead, his body just sits there as he is confused.
Well done, Fezza.
This dragon here flies over and takes us some chomps on Levnosan. They're going at it. I'm not gonna roll for all of that. And let's then go to George, last in the round, but not least in what he's about to do.
All right. So yeah, George is like, all right, protecting this entrance. Okay. All right.
You do see like land troops moving closer. It does look like their numbers will swell over the land troops that are on your side.
All right. Well, we
But
can't
there's
let
some
that
time
happen.
before they get there, so you tell me what you think.
Yeah, that's well, there's like a big dragon there and another big one there and another big one there. You know, I'm gonna go after the little troop dudes because I don't know if that dragon could eat me. So we're gonna go
That's
help
fair.
the troops. Just like roll up into there and like slashing and biting whatever I can reach.
Perfect. Go ahead and make an attack just to make sure if you get, criticals or anything like that, or fumbles.
Okay.
Um,
Wow, that's a wow.
So your bite does,
Oh, no.
grab a couple of skeletons that kind of fall apart, but doesn't really do much. What about the rest of your stuff? I think you have some claw
Yeah, I
attacks.
2 claws. So there's the first claw. Oh yeah, it's not
Nice.
a 1. All right, we're good. And then the second claw.
Nice.
That one's even better.
All right, so what does this look like as you're just tearing through these undead troops?
I imagine. So, have you ever played a game called Spyro the Dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah, where he has his like little horn charge thing, and he like bowls into things. So like George does that. He's like, and all you see is like a blur of like the shield on his green back, and he like charges into stuff, and then he's like whipping around like flailing wildly at whatever he can get his claws in.
Nice. I like it. Anything else?
I think that's good. I think he's all like, yeah, protecting the baby hatchlings.
Excellent.
I,
All right.
I actually get to go off.
What's that?
I'm gonna cast. My action goes off. I'm gonna cast compulsion on the blue dragon.
Right. Wisdom save, correct?
So I need a wisdom saving throw. Yes, DC 20.
They're not gonna make it.
Okay, I'm gonna be like, your mom's on you. You should go that way, and point to the southeast.
That is this fellow, correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, that gold dragon is in my way. There we go. And you want him to fly southeast, correct?
Southeast.
All right. And is that their reaction or is that their movement on their turn?
On movement on their turn.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. And because that was a held action, that would have gone off here, and so let's see. Yeah, you'd end up around over here. How long does that last for?
It's a concentration, and I can use a bonus action to keep directing him to reattempt his will save at the.
Okay. I will roll its will just to make sure when we get around there.
Okay.
I have to say, I felt really much better about this battle before Jeremy moved those other dragons that were behind us, like, off the map. Now I don't quite feel as great about the battle. Just
Oh yeah, where have they gone?
They moved up. They're flying past you all.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought they were like, oh, I didn't mean to have those on the board. I'll just pull those
Right.
off. It's like,
Now they looked out there like, oh man, we can't deal with skeletons. We better run.
yes.
All right. So at the top of the round,
Okay.
Real Who, what are you up to?
For me,
I think I shape change out of a bat back
Okay.
into a dragon. I land here right before the undead.
Nice.
That takes my action, but I still have beguiling presence going on. So as I land before them, I stand as tall as I can on my coils of tail and neck and torso, and I need them to that entire group there to give me a wisdom saving throw. They have to beat a 17
Okay.
as I attempt to charm them.
So I'm going to roll 2 here. One are going to be for the undead in the group, and the other going to be for the fiends that are in that group.
Excellent.
The undead fail. Although I need to double check something.
Actually, if they have a particularly low intelligence, I think. No, I'm thinking of something else, maybe.
They are not immune to being charmed. Excellent.
Excellent.
And then let's see. Unfortunately, the group of fiends that are interspersed between them do not appear to be as taken with your presence.
Can I convince the undead to hug their compatriots?
Sure. Hugging seems fine.
Yeah, I want them to hug.
Okay.
I'll get deep today.
Is that on their turn or a reaction?
On their turn, I think.
Okay.
However you want to roll it.
I was thinking their turn makes more sense, but I just want
Sure.
to make sure I was not incorrect about that.
Yeah, so I plop down there, beguile the undead to bother the demons, and then I want to fly down and check out what's going down on the waters. But
okay.
I also see that there's some dragons over here.
Those are your
That I-
compatriots. So if you could see a dragon's name, they are your friends.
okay.
So they're over here like annihilating undead, eating some of the bats, etc.
Gotcha. I don't see their names, so that's what threw me off.
Oh, interesting. I wonder why that is.
Well, clearly, the most powerful dragons are on our side. So
Right.
if they look small and puny, they're the bad guys. The large ones are ours.
Sure. Well, at any rate,
I resemble that remark.
Present company accepted.
I leap off of here and fly down to wreak havoc upon the boats going up the water.
Perfect. All right, and that should be all of
That's
your
it.
stuff? Okay.
Mhm.
So, Hino, what are you up to?
okay. Well, I think it'll be fun to just kind of strafe some things here. So I'm gonna fly down, and just get in line here with some acid, and maybe try to hit, try to hit the two groups of undead there.
Okay. So, as your
And
line...
I'm also going to. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was also going to tell the blue dragon to keep going that way, southeast.
Okay.
Just keep going.
And that's a bonus action, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks. All right, so
And,
with your
damage, right?
with your acid, it is a dex save.
Dex save DC 17.
They did really, really horribly. Why don't you roll me some damage for that?
All right, I'm going to actually roll. I'd like the randomness.
Okay. I think you ended up one
Yeah,
above.
one.
Perfect. Fortunately, your line of acid just tears its way through this group of skeletons and ghouls and stuff, and most of them just melt away into like a viscous goo that stops moving. There is a couple stragglers left, but that was a terrible blow to that section of undead. So that's your action and your bonus action, and you moved a little bit. Do you have anything else?
That'll be it for me.
All right. All right, great General Sando.
Having regained my breath weapon at the end of last turn, I'm going to strafe these mages again, or these spellcasting undead types.
Nice.
And then I'm going to do that, and I'm going to slide over here, and I'm going to focus my plan of attack, bonus action, on this black dragon to give my angry friend a little bit of extra damage.
Perfect.
All right, so they needed a 17 for half if they made it. And it's going to be this. 59. See, Mike and I are like, flanking
Right.
the half.
Right.
Damn that. So that's
Unfortunately
59
for them, both sides failed their saves, and you managed to just like burn away the rest of them. Either their ethereal forms evaporate, or their wizardly fleshy remains are charred and unmoving when your fire dissipates.
Perfect.
And you are giving Nylaire.
Well, if Nylaire hits this dragon before the beginning of my next turn, they'll, as I point out, yes, your attack has opened up their flank. Strike there. And if she does, deal an extra 6d12.
Nice.
And then Feza, who is still concentrating on that other dragon to keep the confusion going, she is definitely going to use create food and create a choice bit of a scone that she's going to throw into the air so I can chomp it, because breathing it's exhausting, and I want to little hungry right there after the attack. I'm gonna see if I get my breath weapon back, which of course I do thanks to that scone.
Nice, right? Yeah, it's all the scone. I kid you not. As I was like filling in the spells for Feza, I was just like, I'll really be entertained if create food and water comes into play at all.
Of course.
Here we are. And here we are. All right, so you have your breath weapon back. You've nuked them, helped Nylaire out. And speaking of Nylaire, after you chomp your scone, Nylaire, what do you do?
Okay, so the first thing that happens is that I regenerate some hit points.
Nice.
So I get 7 hit points back. 5. And then I'm going to attack first with my bite and hope that I get this extra 60-12, because that would be nice. So
Nice.
26 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay, so that's going to be 13 piercing plus the extra 5. So 18, 26 damage, and then I'm going to roll. Do I roll 60-12, Brian? Is that right?
6d12.
That sounds amazing. Right, I'm going to roll that now.
That is such a... So you're playing the Imperator, is that correct? Great
Yep.
General Sando?
Yes, indeed.
So
That was a really neat...
that's another 38
Whew.
on top of the on top of whatever I said before, 26.
That
And I
fellow...
still have.
Yeah, that fellow's not looking good whatsoever. What would you like to do?
I still have 2 claws. So I'm going to claw for 16.
Yeah.
Oh, and does 31 will hit. And then 15 is unlikely to hit, isn't it? So
And now, with that additional damage, is it just the first strike, or like the first strike you hit?
I was assuming it's the first strike rather than every attack, but
I would assume so.
Oh yeah, I think it just says
it's got to be once, surely.
a weapon attack. So I'm going to assume
Okay.
that.
Yeah. think that.
All right.
Yeah. So I think I've run out of attacks now. So I'm done.
All right. So at the end of your turn, this dragon limply is going to disengage. So you no attacks of opportunity, but it takes to the air and flies at half speed away from you. It's only going to make it to there because
Let
it
that
also
be a lesson to you.
right. I'm just going to put on I think there's a foot running icon here. That would be so useful. They're fleeing. We'll give them the bad back icon. My back. All right. This one continues to fly off this direction. The people on the ground that are not undead, or even the intelligent undead that you can see, seem to be a little miffed at these dragons that are flying off in various directions. Let's see, where's my last one? This one is confused still.
Oh, yes.
I believe so. Let's roll a d10.
Yes, D10.
All right. 8.
An 8. He can act normally. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. Uses its action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach.
All
if there's
right.
no one in its reach, it does nothing.
Because it's on the mountain, it makes it a little
Yeah, I don't know if there's
squeaky.
anything there. If there's
We'll
no one there, there's no one there.
Yeah, we'll say that there's like some stragglers left behind from that area, and again, these are just kind of generalized areas that they're in. So there are some like skeletons and stuff, and it takes a tail swipe at them and just obliterates a line of skeletons.
That's
Meanwhile, the few remaining skeletons here, Hino, are you in the air?
I am about 10 feet.
Okay, that is
I
probably a
wanted to
good
make sure
thing.
that I could get low enough to get.
There's gonna be a few volleys of arrows heading your direction.
Sounds.
But a 21 is gonna miss you, correct?
Right on. Yes, it would.
Okay, so yeah, even the 21 you managed to dodge out of the way as these arrows come flying toward you from the ground troops. Let's see, where else do we have here? These fellows are gonna move up. These bats fly over here. But these guys are kind of interspersed a little bit more. Feel like I'm missing one. Who am I missing? I will
I think he's
find...
under the red ones.
Oh, yeah, the fiends on the hill
Oh, you
that
were
are good to get
correct. Good catch. That one heads over there.
and miss out on its hug? Truly is a demon.
Right? Near Levnosan, these glowing weapons appear and begin to attack. Oops, wrong button.
Are the weapons attacking him, or is he controlling them?
They appear to be attacking him. Just moving some stuff, and then it will be George's turn.
Yep.
Oh, your blue gets to make another wisdom save.
Oh, and so does the confusion guy.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Let's start with blue. Natural 20. What is your
Ooh.
DC?
A 20.
Okay, yeah. He has a bonus, so that one is no longer confused. Or sorry, compelled. And then this fellow is still confused. All right, George. What would you like to do?
I mean, I almost feel bad for them at this point, but Yeah, I'll dive into another group of what I didn't move my token. I'm sorry. I'm probably near Hino. I was up near the front.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally.
I didn't move that. Yeah, I guess I will catch up. But yeah, the idea was to continue like just barreling through these swaths of undead while also making sure that at least like once a turn I'm looking back over my shoulder at that entrance. And if there's even so much as like a gnat that's thinking about going in that doorway, I want to be over there.
Yeah, one of the stray bats from the cloud that flew off is just like, oh, this is nice and dark. Zap.
Yep. No. I'm watching you, bat.
Right? Why don't you go ahead and roll your attacks as you barrel your way through these lines of skeletons and ghouls, and there's some ghosts and stuff in there as well.
Ghosts aren't very biteable, but we'll try. We'll try.
Perfect.
All right.
Really wispy
Bite it.
cotton candy.
What's that?
Like really wispy cotton candy.
Ooh,
What
candy is-
flavor is
It just
that?
tastes like cobwebs.
oh, cobweb
Yeah,
flavored cotton candy? That's no.
Yeah, no.
All right, my bite, 24 to hit, 22 damage.
Nice. And
Then
then
we get the first claw, like sweeping through the crowd of people. Except I'm the same size as them, so it's probably not very sweepy.
I feel like you're
And then
just
the
you're at the large end of medium, so you're at least bigger than people. Mostly.
Mostly.
All right.
Maybe,
so
maybe not people like Shaquille O'Neal size, but like
right. You would be on par because you
Yeah.
have wings too, so
oh, there
you'd
we
be
go.
wider than Shaq.
Both sides.
All
Like
right,
medium,
yes.
it seems really big.
Nice.
Fighting and clawing and rawr.
So I think we have kind of an idea of how this is all going. Why don't we each take a turn to kind of explain something that happens in the battle, and then it'll come back to me. We'll start with that. So rather than explaining what you do this turn, tell me the next few minutes that your character is doing something. We'll go ahead and start with Rilhu.
Well, I think I actually have kind of a clear line of sight back to Levnosan, and something completely got my interest away from what was happening, from my intent to deal with these boatgoers. I saw magic that I'm unfamiliar with, and that's kind of my thing.
Oh,
So,
nice.
I'd be flying back towards him, not necessarily to do anything about it, but to perch up here and observe, trying to see where this magic is coming from, who is causing it. I certainly have the power to dispel it if I wish, but I'm not sure I want to yet. I'm really just kind of curious as to what this is, what it looks like, what it's actually doing, if it's actually harming the great gold, or
Yeah. It appears that there are, as you're watching, there are some casters intermixed with the army, and it looks like they have summoned these spiritual weapons of sorts. And they appear to be trying to hit the gold dragon with them. However, they're not doing a very good job at doing so.
Oh, it's just boring spiritual weapon. That's disappointing. So are we actually like taking a turn here, or
Nope. Just tell me over the next few minutes what kind of catastrophe you rain upon this army of undead.
Then I turn back and I go back to the skeletons that I had impeding the demons, and I'm giving them a problem, sweeping through them, tearing them apart, weaving my sinewy body through them, knocking them over, throwing some off of the cliff there down below, and just causing general mayhem up there.
Okay, perfect. What is your passive perception?
My passive perception is a number.
True.
My passive perception is 19.
All right. I will come back to you. Hinu, what are you doing over the next couple of minutes?
No, I think it's time to put on some flash. So I'm gonna do a prismatic spray the over a group of the undead. It's a 60-foot cone, and while I'm at it, I'm going to take just a moment to viciously mock the.
Oh, sorry, you cut off after viciously mocked.
The folks in the audience.
Oh, technology.
In the back can hear me.
Mike, do you want to type in who you're viciously mocking into the chat, and then that way I can see who it is as your internet catches up with us?
Okay. Am I back?
It just keeps cutting out a little bit, Mike.
Yeah, sorry, Mike.
My internet decided to just take a break.
No
Now you're
worries. We can hear you now. Who do you want to viciously mock?
Okay. Viciously mock that green dragon that just can't get his act together,
Okay, perfect.
or their act together.
I am going to roll for that one just to see what happens. Wouldn't make it. So it continues to not get its act together, but what is the vicious mock that you send its way?
Oh, I'm gonna say something about but try to be sensitive to our friend, but basically say something about green dragons don't got no brains or something like that.
Except
Present
for
company
George.
accepted. Yes, George is an honorary copper.
Totally fair. Awesome. All right, so while that's all going on, great General Sando, what would you be doing over the next couple of minutes?
Well, I'm going to try to direct my incredibly angry friend down there to go after this confused dragon, because it seems like the biggest threat on this side of things. And I'm going to support her in her vicious attacks, using more, directing her with my plans of attack. And if I need to, I'll use persuasion or deception to sort of funnel her rage in a, constructive direction.
Nice. Excellent.
And in the meantime, is that a green dragon? What's the dragon on the? What kind of dragon is it? Brass, sort of like me, or gold?
What can you ping the one that you're looking at?
Oh yeah, the confused one.
Oh, what did I say that one is? Sorry, that one is a. What's the one that you all are earned? Brass. Brass.
No, I'm brass.
You're brass. Bronze? No, someone else is bronze.
Bronze.
We're gonna say brass.
Okay. Since I know my fire's not really going to do much on
That is
on
true.
this fellow brass dragon, even though this one is clearly lost its way. So I will probably try to breathe on these undead over here, get more scones, try to get my breath back. Might be some tea in there.
Perfect.
Perhaps
Perfect.
Perhaps sort of filled muffin, or pastry of some kind.
I do feel like Feza is going to point out that you do need to watch your waistline, even though you are spending a lot of calories right now. She is a little concerned about the sugar intake.
Yes, Feza. You've said so before.
Perfect. And what is your passive perception?
23.
23. Perfect. All right. Nylaire, what would you be doing over the next couple of minutes?
So I am going to go for this dragon here while it's confused and make the most of it. And if I've had some practical advice and some sort of the spots have been pointed out to me, then I'm going to go for them. But if this is for the next couple of minutes, after like just under a minute, this whole anger thing is going to wear off.
Okay.
Fortunately, nothing really bad happens, but I calm down then.
Right.
And then I might do something different.
So before your anger wears off and while you're still berserking, you do manage to get up there, and that dragon is confused for a bit longer, and you manage to do it some pretty decent harm. And at that point, there's only one other dragon that's still left, which is the one that had been compelled to fly away, and it comes back over and is messing around over in this direction. As you finish off the dragon that's on top of that mountain. So you would still have a little time after that dragon was finished off. Is there anything else that you wanted to do in that couple of minutes?
Yeah, I haven't breathed yet, so I'm going to breathe a line of lightning on all of these guys here, these undead.
Nice. We'll just... nuke those. As your what kind of breath do you have?
Lightning.
All right, so your
it's
lightning
like
just
a line of lightning. Yeah, big lightning bolt.
Nice. And what is your passive perception?
It's only 18.
Only 18. Perfect.
The fact that he keeps asking this question does fill me with a sense of foreboding.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
It does. And everyone else is going 23, 24.
Right. And George, what would you be doing as these one dragon has been taken down, another has fled, and the one that had been fleeing has come back, but also is not doing fantastically. The ground forces are being just decimated. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm not too worried about the dragons because they definitely need to lose some weight before they can get into the hatchery, right? I'm more worried about all these skeletons and stuff, especially them ones that can, like, get through things that don't need to, they can just, like, boop through walls. We don't want them booping through walls into the hatchery. So I'm, like, clawing and biting left and right. And, of course, every now and then I get a really nasty one. I'm like, and then I continue biting and clawing. And it's just, I'm really going to need to brush my teeth after all this. Really what
it's like finding the vomit-flavored Jelly Belly.
Right?
Yeah.
No. That's not fun.
Yes, this is why Fezza flosses me daily.
Yeah. Might need to figure out how to do that.
Mid-battle, Fezza's over there just...
Right.
Perfect. So, about this time, and you didn't really notice it at first, but those of you who have a passive perception over 20, which I think is 2 of you, you start realizing that there's this thunder that's happening that isn't part of the battle. There have been, like, your lightning breath, zats out, and there's, like, some spells that are being cast by some of the spellcasters on the other side that cause thunder to happen, but you realize that storm that had been off in the distance is almost upon you, and snow begins to fall as it does so, and lightning is striking, and it's not that far behind the battle itself, and you see Levnosan stops and looks up, and like I said before, Levnosan doesn't really talk much. He's pretty gruff, and his eyes go wide, and he says, "By the ancients, they couldn't have woken the ruin." And he looks to the other adults, the other ancient dragons that are with all of you, and he takes to the sky and he says, "You all hold the line." And to you, to the group of you, as the elder dragons that have been on your side take to the sky and fly towards the storm, what would you all do?
Well, that's not too bad.
Lost our powerful weapons. Hold the line, says the general.
I will trust that they'll take care of the problem, whatever it is.
Is this black dragon? Did he
Hold
leave?
on.
Yep, that one flew off.
Oh,
Didn't
sorry.
want any more to do with that. Hino, what are you up to? Oh no, sorry, you were holding the line. Sorry, my brain just turned off again. Nightlair, what are you up to?
I think I'm gonna stay. Yeah, I'm gonna try and hold the line as well, and I'll keep attacking these undead over here.
Okay.
If we run out of dragons, there's one down there though.
Yep, there's that one dragon left. Not doing great, but still there.
It's tempting, but I think I'm probably gonna stick over this side and try and keep these undead at bay on this side.
Okay. And Rilhu, what are you up to as your dragon companions soar off towards the storm?
Well, that sounds like really interesting magic of the most ancient kind. And I don't really feel like holding the line.
Okay.
So I would actually finish playing with my food and drop a spell bomb here before flying off and upward following Levno-san and the rest.
Okay.
The spell that I would drop, if you would grant that to me, because it looks like it might be my turn.
Yep.
Okay, so I coil in and around after knocking a bunch of skeletons over and pull myself up into the air before spreading myself out wide like a glider and focusing all of my power down beneath me. I say the phrase Gran Kostrun, and bolts of lightning release out from me.
Nice.
Create a bolt of lightning that arcs towards a target of my choice that I can see within range, and I pick the biggest, meatiest looking demon beneath me.
Okay.
3 bolts then leap from that target to as many as 3 other targets, each which must be within 30 feet of it. So I'm getting dexterity saving throws, and I'll roll that damage. And I think my saving throw is... Where's my saving throw? I think my saving throw is 17.
Okay.
That's looks like what most of the saving throws against my effects are, but I'm not sure if that's one for spells. But yeah, I think that's a success. And advanced roller. 10d8. 54 lightning damage there.
Excellent. So yeah, your bolt goes down, strikes the fiend that you had marked. More shoot out from it and strike other demons. It does seem to leave some scorch marks on them, even though they had managed to dodge partially out of the way. And then you soar after the Elder Dragons.
Yes, hot on their heels. My
right.
my full movement that I have.
All right, George, what do? Do you stay here? Do you work on protecting the shodies?
Well, my perception's not high enough to notice it's anything other than some weird rumbly stuff that's a future George problem. So right now George is definitely just more focused on making sure that nothing gets to that entrance. So he's going to keep himself between the entrance and whatever else is up there.
Okay, sounds good. General, did we cover you? I thought we had, but now I'm not sure.
I come up here and I'm directing,
Right.
calling out shots.
Right.
And
All right. So splitting the party.
You're doing a great job, boss.
Hold for just a moment. Mm-mm. Real who? I forgot to give you night vision. What's your night vision? 120?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so as you soar above the battlefield and fly up into the sky, you notice that there's this like biting wind that just claws at your scales and begins to build up ice on it. And you see lightning strikes just littering the field of battle as some of them hit undead and other creatures that are coming up at the rear of the battle. You're not really sure if it's meant to be that way or if the storm is just wild, but you can see that there is a vortex. The cloud is spinning in the sky, and the dragons enter that vortex and disappear ahead of you. What would you do?
I'd rush to follow them.
Okay. And it
That sounds cool.
Fairly quickly afterwards, you hear the roaring of dragons, and you see the cloud lights up with flame and lightning. You can see acid fall from the air where another breath weapon had been dispersed. And as you enter into the swirling of the vortex, you can see up above a flash. And then you could see the dragons that you had followed, and only one of them seems to be moving. The others are literally held in place.
Held in place?
Yeah, they're not flapping their wings, and they're not moving. It's like they're frozen there. You don't see anything else.
Okay. How far away am I from this? Am I fully in it?
I'm gonna move. I don't know if everyone will see this when I move you over. Whoop.
Oh,
but
cool.
if you can, that's all right.
I think we're getting an outside shot, so it definitely looks dark.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. So you are about there, both down, and you can see the fires that are down below, that the army has spread behind it. So you're about 80 feet.
Okay.
From the dragons. Oh, actually, I need to throw in, who am I missing here?
If I'm 80 feet away from the dragons, and if you are granting me the opportunity to act, I would cast Dispel Magic on them at the highest level that I have, seeing that they are held in place. However, recognize that I'm one of everyone here at the table, and if that's outside my turn, I can wait.
Gotcha. I apologize. Hang on one sec. I don't know which dragon I'm missing.
But it's fine
The
for
gold
my-
one. You're missing the gold one.
The gold one. Thank you. How could I miss that one? There you are. So Lemnosan is flying away from this as though some effect had just happened, and he's trying to make sure he stays out of it. And you want to fly up and dispel that, correct?
I would cast at the highest level I have, spending the 10 spell points that I need, and I would say the words "Veklan Vonus," hoping to spell any spell of 7th level or lower, and if it's higher than that, I can attempt a skill check there.
Okay, you will need to attempt a skill check.
Okay. Let me just read the wording there. DC equals 10 plus the spell's level. Make an ability check using my spellcasting ability. My spellcasting ability is Charisma, I believe. So I have a +7 to that.
Nice.
20. A 22.
Nice. So I just have to double check something.
Okay.
You're using Dispel Magic, correct?
Yes.
Do.
Range is 120 feet.
Interesting.
You got this.
Right?
Yeah.
So you feel like it should be gone,
Mhm.
but it doesn't go away.
Oh, that's very intriguing.
It seems like it's not a spell.
Okay, well, you had my interest. Now you have my attention.
What would you do from there?
I would fly in the direction towards the gold dragon
Okay.
to see if I can buddy up with it.
As Livnosan turns and looks at you, he says, "Beware! It's in the cloud."
Okay.
Anything you want to do?
I think I'll ponder that.
Okay. While you ponder, let's go back to the other side. And
We've already won.
right, as you are all just destroying this ground army, what? There we go. What would you be doing? Just give me a quick rundown. Let's start with the general. What's going on down there?
Well, I think I'm going to keep supporting my my copper friend there. Or, I'm sorry, Richard. What are you again? Your copper dragon?
Bronze.
Bronze. I'll keep supporting my bronze dragon friend and using my breath weapon when available to take out other groups of enemies. But he's doing a lot, or she's doing a lot of damage. So I'm just going to keep pointing out weaknesses and
Perfect.
then I'll keep having our. I hate the word. Use the word minions. Forces continue to advance to
Loyal followers.
maybe shift over toward the hatchery because definitely need to protect that. And if I can get some troops, in front of the door to make sure that no one's going to get in that way, that'd be helpful.
Nice. Between you and Nylaire, the last dragon goes down pretty quickly after the other dragons disappear into the cloud. You do manage to convince some of the forces, or like direct some of your allies, I think is the word you were looking for earlier, allies, to go and guard the hatchery, right? Nylaire, is there anything else that you would be doing after you take out that remaining dragon?
I think just mopping up undead that are kind of getting close to the hatchery and to the mountain.
Okay, and in the
Making
back,
sure no one gets across.
in the back of the line, you do notice that there are some spellcasters as well as some more powerful undead that are kind of controlling things, and they are heading your direction. Probably something to take care of here momentarily. Let's look at what Hino's doing. Hino, what would you be doing?
I'm not gonna get my claws on anything, but I'm gonna use some minor magics to keep the front line at bay.
Okay.
So like a thunder wave here, thunder wave there.
Perfect. All right, so there's the booming of thunder as you're just like obliterating skeletons and destroying ghosts and ghouls that are like kind of not even like glommed together as a unit anymore. Everything is just interspersed. There's just like this, or dispersed is the word. There's just chaos amongst the undead. The controllers of the undead seem like they're heading up, and they're fortunately most of the undead are not intelligent, so they're still moving to attack you. But for the most part, they're just easy pickings. George, what are you up to?
So at this point, do we see the storm approaching?
Yeah.
Those of us who didn't have the high perception. Okay.
Yeah,
All
it looks
right.
like the storm will actually be over within the next couple of minutes. Like, not over like done, but like over the area you're in.
Okay. And then that mountain where the eggs were, was that like an open crater? Like open to the sky?
No, so the top has like a recessed area that has an entrance for you to go into, but there isn't like it's not like a volcano type of crater in the top.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure the eggs will not be exposed to the storm.
Gotcha.
Is my concern.
Totally. Make a perception check.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Perception. I guess that's just no perception button. Okay. So then it'll be whatever this is plus 5. So I don't see anything. George is brave and strong.
You're very focused on making sure that there's nothing around the mountain that would get into it. You don't see anything.
George's critical weakness never looks up.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not looking for things flying. I'm looking for these undead that are trying to sneak in and get some eggs.
Also, George wears those blinders like a horse does, so
Yeah.
you can only see this way. Right.
I mean, well, that's 2 pieces of Dad's helmet. It kind of broke when I put it on the first time, so it's, it kind of protects me.
Yeah, totally.
And you stay focused.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
All right, let's hop over to In the Storm. Rilhu. As you're flying around with Livnosan here, you can hear something in the cloud. It's not the flapping of wings. It's something slithering or similar to that. It's hard to make out because of the storm, but you're in kind of a calmer area, and so even though you can hear the wind moving around you, it's not moving like past you, and so it doesn't mess with your hearing as much. The dragons that are in this area, and you can kind of see this shimmer that's around them, appear to be deteriorating within this area of effect. And you're feeling a little weird yourself. Go ahead and make a con save.
Oh, actually, I have a saving throw for that.
Nice.
22.
It doesn't seem to be affecting you too badly, but there's something maybe about the storm that is not... Oh, in fact, you can see as Livnosan is flying around you, some of his scales begin to dull as the snow is falling on it. There's not a lot in this area, just some flurries that are blown around and that are like in the vortex, but it's almost like it's slowly eating away.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure this out. You said there seems to be like forms in the clouds.
You don't see anything, you just hear something in the clouds that's moving around. It seems like it's circling the vortex.
Interesting. Okay, I'm not sure what to do here. Sounds like I've perceived what I can out of this, and I don't really have anything in my spell book of wonders to tackle this kind of thing. I asked Levosan, what should we do?
Livnosan says, that's a really good question. He's looking around while also trying to figure out how to get his friends out of this area of effect. In an uncharacteristic for him display of affection for the others, he seems to be on the verge of hysteria, and it takes him a moment to realize you've said something, and then he looks back to you and hovers in the air as he flaps his wings, and he looks at the edges of the vortex around you and says, "Perhaps if we can take the creature out, it will free them. We must find it."
I ask him, would this creature be draconic like us?
The great ruin is a dragon of sorts. It is the only one of its kind.
So not helpful. Okay. I don't know what to do. I am going to take the dodge action.
Okay.
And I'm going to wait and see.
Okay. Lavdosa looks around and he begins to flap away from the other dragons that are held and just begins to breathe great gouts of flame into the storm. You see that they do, like, the fire does hit the storm and kind of gets whipped away, and you can see the fire, like, mingle with the vortex and then gets snuffed out. It looks like he's trying to drive the dragon out.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going to continue to dodge and kind of fly around, see if I can see any particular point where I should focus my efforts.
Okay.
But, I think that'll be my turn.
Go ahead and make another con save.
Sure. I got a 12.
Well, the good
Speaking
news,
of
Rilhu, is
12s.
that if this is aging you and you and Hino are twins, you're now the older brother.
Nice. I like it. You do start to feel weighed down for a moment. Like, it's this storm, there's something draining about it. You're going to take 12 necrotic damage.
Okay.
And as you do so, let me just double check. Did I roll the wrong? Nope, I sure didn't. Limnoson also continues to the scales. Some of them start to flake away, like he's losing scales. You can see the membranes of his wings kind of rot, and they begin to kind of tear open a little bit. And you do notice that because the storm is moving at a fairly rapid pace, bloop, 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 you lose sight of the other dragons as the cloud itself overcomes them.
Well, maybe it'll move past them and they'll be all right.
Yeah, everything will be fine. It'll be good. Down below, the rest of you notice there's like some gouts of light that show up. You can tell it's like fire breath being released into the clouds. What do you do?
Is the situation on the ground like we've taken out the dragons? Are the forces that are left seemingly? Is it like without dragons? We're like, this is kind of nothing to deal
Under
with.
control.
Yeah, I would say
how-
make an insight check or survival at advantage, Great General. As you're like looking at this, trying to like tactically make a guesstimate.
Okay, what's my insight?
He's famous for his tactical guesstimates.
25.
Ooh, 25. There are some more powerful undead that are down there. You have noticed that there is a spellcasting, or actually two spellcasting undead that are probably liches. They seem to be the ones that have been commanding a lot of the undead to do things. There's also a vampire, and there's one other. Let me double check the map here, because I'm pretty sure there's one other. Well,
We can't see it. Oh, we can see it now.
let's see. Oh, there's another horde of demons that are back there. But there are a lot of humanoids on your side that you have managed to protect so far. So you have the feeling that right now the group that you're protecting and fighting with has a better than average shot against what is left of the enemy forces on the ground.
So I think I'm gonna call out to all of my allies down here. Keep the pressure on them, but I'm gonna say to the dragons, we can defeat those. The battle leaders in the back. We can help the elders up above, and then I'm gonna fly over to the entrance to the hatchery. And when I get there, I'm gonna take a minute and I'm gonna talk to Feza, and I'm gonna say, Feza, summon my fortress.
Okay,
I'm gonna
I was
place
also
it
wondering
over
if
the
this would show up for some random reason.
Yeah, so we're going to place the fortress on top of the opening, so it's beneath the keep.
Is this the opening on top of the mountain, or is this the one that's on the ground?
Whichever one looks more vulnerable. Like, I guess probably the one that's on the ground is probably going to be more vulnerable.
Okay, yeah. So
That doesn't take like an hour to cast, does it?
No, it's
That
just a
would be the
minute.
worst. Oh wow. Okay.
Fez is going to do it.
so as you take off to head up towards the dragons, and Feza is down there doing this, describe what this mighty fortress looks like as it appears before the mountain.
So I think it's like the ground rumbles, and like these two towers like shoot up out of the ground, followed by the rest of the inner keep that blocks the opening, and then these walls pop up, erupt out of the ground. So the fortress itself has about 4 turrets, each one about 20 feet on a side, about 20 feet tall, and the turrets are connected by these 80-foot long stone walls. And the keep inside has about 50. It's a 50-foot to a side, and there's pennants flying with, of course, my symbol upon it, which is a golden pottery jug, because of course pottery is the thing that every horde should contain. And the smells from inside are wonderful, because the unseen servants are preparing a marvelous feast for after the battle's done. It's roasts and various things. I'm also going to yell at or command some of our ground forces to come inside the keep and man the walls and give a better defensive position. And then Feza and I are going to, as soon as our dragon companions are with us, fly up to help the elders.
Okay, so are you going to wait for Fez?
Yeah, I'll wait for Feza.
Okay, gotcha.
Because it only takes a minute, so...
Right. So, as that's happening, let's go to Hino. What are you doing while the fortress is rising from the ground?
Well, I noticed that that George was distracted, and I decided to check that out. And I saw the storm, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird. It must be some kind of magical thing." And one of the benefits of hanging around with herd races and stuff like that is they get interested in things that I might not have been able to study myself. So I was able to read some books and things like that. I'm gonna do an Arcana, just kind of search through my memory of Arcana.
Nice. So there's definitely something weird about the storm. It's not a natural formation. It seems to be produced by something. And as you're watching, you can see like it's snowing and it's lightning, which is a rare occurrence at best. And you notice that like flakes of gold scales that are kind of corrupted have begun to fall from the storm. You're pretty sure that the storm, thinking back with that awesome roll, some of the very ancient dragons of this world that aren't even they're not even like of the same species as any of you. They're like unique creatures, had the ability to create some pretty crazy weather effects as they moved. This is probably one of those.
Okay. Well, if there's a dragon in the middle of it, maybe that compulsion will work on it too. So I might get close enough to give that a try.
Okay. Are you waiting for the...
Looks like...
Are you waiting for the general to head that way, or are you going to head up before the general?
Well, I am going to just go ahead and do it.
Okay. So you're going to arrive a little bit before the general. While you're heading that way, how about Nylir?
I'm going to go up there as well.
Okay.
I'm going to start heading up there, and I might start frenzying again. When I get there, I'll frenzy.
Okay. And George?
Well...
Come on, George.
the general's putting a fortress in front of the entrance, which is a good idea. But I think George wants to wait to make sure that the fortress actually completes, that there's nothing that interrupts the process, none of this like snow. I don't want the pixie to sneeze and this just suddenly fails or anything, right? Like we're gonna make sure that this fortress is solid and that everyone's in and safe, and then we'll go check out what's up with this weird storm thingy.
Partway through, the pixie sneezes, and the whole thing caves in on the hatchery.
See, this is why you gotta watch magic. You gotta watch it.
Perfect. All right, so we're gonna do this in waves. There's a couple of rounds before.
I think when George and I finally start heading up there, I'll say something to the effect of, "Yes, I've sent the others on ahead."
Perfect. As one
Very
does
smart, General. Very
when
smart.
they are the strategist.
Yes.
All right, so I will move you in ways right now. It is just Rilhu and Levnosan trying to find this creature in the clouds. So let's start with Rilhu. What are you doing?
I think I would follow suit with Levnosan and stream my breath weapon into the clouds.
Okay.
I can channel that once per long rest, just continuously streaming out a line of acid.
Yeah.
And I'm going to spin around, fly around the clouds, just trying to sear anything I can with my breath weapon.
Sure. Your breath weapon takes what to save against it?
I'm pulling that up now. So I stream out a 120-foot line of acid that's 10 feet wide. It takes a dexterity save to beat, DC 17.
Okay. I'm also going to be having, since you're like streaming it out, it also has like a bit of an arc and there's a dripping, and it's like being whipped around by the storm. So sooner or later during your minute of expelling your breath, it's going to hit something. So you said dex, right?
It is a dex save, yes, DC 17. Whoa.
Woo. All right, go ahead.
That's quite the split.
Right. All right, so we got a critical success and a critical failure if it had been a disadvantage. But what is your damage? Because it is saved for half.
Sure. I will roll. I like to roll things. 11d10, 49.
49. So we'll call that 25. Excellent. And with that, I feel like we should roll initiative between yourself and Levosan here and this thing that you don't necessarily see. So go ahead and click on your token, Rilhu, and hit the initiative button.
Oh, you got this.
Go.
We all believe.
I go on a gentleman's 12.
Excellent.
I spelled that very differently in notes.
Dunas.
Oops, what did I break here? I broke something. There we go. All right, sorry. Oh, Levnosan, really? A 4?
Womp womp.
Luckily, the storm is just a storm, and he was wrong this whole time.
Right?
It happens.
Oops, wrong button.
I mean, you could roll it.
He's going to die.
He's gonna die. All right, so from within the cloud near you, it's really just behind you because you're moving in an arc through the vortex, right? And your acid spilling out from your breath, and you hear something shriek.
Ooh.
And I'm just gonna actually remove these dragons because they actually moved further off than this.
Oh, good. Are they out of the storm now?
The storm is pretty
They're
big,
fine.
but they might be.
They're totally fine, guys.
Totally fine. This dragon, in
They're
fact,
back
this
having coffee.
the dragon that is off the map is actually lost in that space that you fall in video games, where you fall through the edge and get locked in the area.
Now they're like behind. Now they're behind the scene.
Right. They're playing Backrooms, or in the Backrooms.
Right.
If you ever played that game. Okay, so I need to drag this fellow out.
Oh no, it's okay. We're good.
Ooh.
So, emerging from the
Sky
cloud,
Hydra.
emerging from the cloud, you see at first like a white snout, and then a somewhat draconic, almost deer-like head, and then another appears, and then another, and you start to lose count as these serpentine heads and necks writhe forward, and it's almost like this form eats itself or consumes itself as it wraps around and another appears around it. You're not really sure what's keeping it afloat. You can't see the back of it as it emerges from the cloud.
Well, that's cool. I'm calling it a Sky Hydra, and I'm pitching that to you, Meagan, for Tomb of Beasts 4.
What was the last part?
And I'm pitching that for Tomb of Beasts 4. That's gonna be my number one there.
Excellent.
It's Monster Vault 2.
Monster Vault 2, there we go.
It
No, if we stick true to Kobold Press, form, like we have to have a different name for the second monster book, and then go back to the first monster book.
There.
when is Creature Codex 2 coming out? I'm just saying.
It'll be Monster Vault, and then it'll be Beast Hutch, and then we'll go to Monster Vault 2.
Did you say Beast Hut?
Beast Hutch.
Oh, shit. Woo. Oh, I'm a little broken on that one. Hang on.
Electric Beastaloo Part 2.
Right? It's the kind of thing you bring to your in-laws, where it's just you put the furniture down and they open it and they're like, ah! Okay. Whew. This creature, now I forgot what the creature was going to say. Thank you, Brian. It seems like each of the mouths are making noises, and it becomes very like this cacophony of noise that is difficult for you to think around. Their
Gibbering Mouther Dragon.
Rilhul, I need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
Oh.
Oh, wow. That's rough.
As these voices enter your mind, for the next minute, you're going to have disadvantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws and ability checks. You can repeat the save at the end of each of your turns to end the effect.
Okay.
Got that? Does that make sense?
Sure.
All right, just want to make sure I was explaining it very well.
Yes, you put the whammy on me.
You do see as like it must have some kind of body, because arms reach out for you and try to attack you.
Ooh.
Does a 18 hit you?
No, you may try
All
again
right.
if you want.
Yeah, it did, and it got an even worse roll. So you managed to dodge out of the way of those things. What do you do in response?
I turn my breath weapon upon it, because I'm still channeling that sucker.
Yeah, and we'll say you're about halfway through your minute.
Okay.
So another dex save, I believe.
Yes, please. Beat a 17.
It will.
Whoa.
Ow.
Okay, so half of 77.
Oh.
That is a heck of a roll.
Yeah.
Dang. We'll call that 38.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
I don't want to fight. And then I'm gonna fly away from it.
Okay.
But if he gets another nat 20 on one of your checks, you really that's where we run screaming.
Right.
Yeah.
As you fly
go over
away from
here.
it is going to take an attack of opportunity on you.
That's fine. It can try. No.
There's a 22 misses.
How about no?
How
You gotta be
about-
24 to get
Oh,
started.
okay. Perfect. All right.
My
so
skills are shields.
You flew away. You took your action. Anything else?
I think that's it. I'm
All
continuing
right.
to breathe into the clouds because I'm channeling.
At the end of your turn, go ahead and make a con save.
Certainly. Pull my character sheet again. Con saves +4.
All right.
That's an 11.
You're going to take 18 necrotic, and you start to notice like some of your scales begin to flake off.
Oh, I love my scales. They hide the good parts.
Eberron is quite nice this time of year.
Shows that we're leaving.
All right. Noson is going to fly up to it and just unleash the fury of his fire breath. Except for I have to find the correct one. There we go. So the guy needs to make another dex save. And will succeed, but still is going to take... I'm just going to average this. 71 fire, so 35?
That is a spicy gold dragon.
All right. That is, I believe... Yep. He's going to make a save.
The mighty 3.
And you notice his scales are really starting to dim. They're just becoming this tarnished gold color. Some of them aren't even gold anymore. They're like blackened and they crumble and fall off. Little bits of light glinting as they fall into the vortex below you.
Oh, that's not good. I'm just gonna find those later and be rich.
It moves along the edge of the vortex.
Join me. Join.
And then it's going to attack this guy.
So again, about that noping out of your plan.
Oh,
Wait. Let's hear him out.
I was gonna say, this is the moment where Sebastian turns on the party.
Right? Of all of the ones to go up first. Well, now that you mention it, okay, so it's... Gotta double check something. Where?
It can't hit really well because all of the heads give it like a really crappy perception.
Right.
It's
Field of distance is all messed up. And...
Sure. It's like trying to like check your blind spots while you're driving a turn, but everyone's head is in the way.
Right. Yeah.
So the some of the heads kind of like move together, and this like blinking lack of light begins to form between its mouths, and then it shoots out and hits Levnosan, who's going to attempt to make a dex saving throw and see if we can actually do it this time. except for I have to stop closing his character sheet because it doesn't help. Sorry about that. Dex save. That's good. It's not enough, but it's good.
That makes us feel better.
All right. Just because I don't want to be the one who kills the dragon. Rilhu, why don't you roll me? Let me double check it. 10d6.
All right. As I'm rolling this, I'm also searching down below me to see if anyone is coming up here. 38.
38. You see this, like this, it's not even like a black line. It's like the area around, or the area within this beam, the light just disappears, and it creates this like void, and it hits Livnosan, and just like withers away his right arm, which just like falls limply to his side. That wing shrinks slightly and he begins to flounder in the air, but he survives.
So here's the thing. We were coming up, and we all suddenly remembered that we had this other thing we had to do, you know.
You know, we all just woke up, right? So it's something we promised to do next time we woke up, and
Right.
you know, we got distracted.
You were gonna go to the Ren Fair or something, right? You got your costumes on and everything.
Right.
While that beam is hitting Livosan, a couple of the heads turn towards you, Rilhu.
Will you join us? Will you come with us, anyone?
Okay.
That tracks.
I
need
swoop around.
I need you to make a either deception or persuasion check, depending on which one that was.
No, I think I'm going to do it. I do think I join.
All right, so just make a perception check. Or sorry,
Okay.
not perception, persuasion. Make a persuasion. check.
Persuasion. Persuasion. There we go. 21.
Nice. Its eyes follow you, and you can see other heads that aren't looking at you or facing towards you. Some of the eyes are also watching you, and they smile as you agree.
I fly forward,
Okay.
attempting to land on Levnosan's back and bring the full brunt of my breath weapon down upon him.
Okay. He's going to make a dexterity saving throw for that, but it's going to be a disadvantage because he's getting messed up. His wing isn't doing so well, and you're coming in kind of at... I'm going to call that a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
19 is his outcome.
That is better than the 17.
All right. Well, still safe for half, so roll your acid damage.
74.
Oh my. He manages to roll. As you hit him, he rolls, and a lot of the acid kind of spews off the side and misses, but great holes appear in his wing, and it actually begins to fall. He's still alive, but is plummeting. Are you clinging on to him, or are you...
I'm going to let him go. I'm going to stop breathing as he falls.
Okay.
I'll say to his falling form, "You are so preachy anyway."
Fezza would like you to know that you're not invited to these now.
Below, you can hear what sounds like multiple voices laughing coming out of the storm. On the next round, the first wave of you is going to appear. So, Rilhu, do you do anything in the meantime?
I line up with the thing. and ask who it is, what it wants, and what it wants of me.
Okay.
We are Gildunas, and we want your servitude.
Yes, but like, what does that entail? What do I get out of this?
What do you want?
To be number one. And if I can't have that, I want his horde. And I point to the gold dragon that's plummeting out of the sky.
Go ahead.
And I'll continue to hang up in the air with it.
Okay.
I assume we're not attacking each other anymore. So.
It doesn't appear to be attacking you.
Yeah.
So that would be... Who did we have? We had Hino and Nylir, right? We're flying up.
Yeah, they were next.
I need the two of you to roll initiative.
Okay.
Just make sure you click on your... Actually, let me add your tokens so you can click on them. And then you can roll your initiative. Let's see, we have Hino and Nylir.
Oh, I can see now.
Do I need to roll a new initiative?
No, just stay in where you were.
Okay.
Ooh, Nylir, that's terrible. Oh, and then Mike goes and makes it worse.
Terrible.
To be fair, they're very sharp.
So far down in the vortex, the two of you enter and begin flying up, and plummeting past you without his wings is Levnosan. He reaches out towards you as he soars past, and then just disappears as the storm is essentially moving, and he's no longer moving with it. He's falling, and then where he lands goes out of sight. And we will go to the top of the order with Gerdunas. We're gonna remove Levnosan there. Gerdunas actually disappears, flies back into the cloud. So up above you, you could see there was like some kind of writhing form that looked like it was next to Rilhu, and then it flees into the cloud. And Rilhu, what do you do?
I sigh, look at the clouds, and I'm like, really? I am going to change shape into a tiny little swallow and attempt to hide and evade.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and roll a stealth check with the shape change stats, and do it at advantage because you're hiding in this cloud.
Wait, so you're a swallow inside a vortex?
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
It'll go up.
Uh-huh.
Right? Really?
Standing around.
Hiding is more just like entering it, and then you just ride the wave.
Sure. I don't have the statistics for a swallow, but I imagine it's not going to be much.
Yeah, let's
Also,
add... Just roll a d20 at advantage. We'll see
Sure.
what it does.
A 16.
Okay. All right, so Nylir, as you are flying into this, you can feel this kind of sense of not illness, but it kind of feels like illness to you. Sense of like discomfort and just unwellness saturate you as you go into the storm. But it's your turn. What do you do?
I'm looking around for the thing that we saw next to Rehul that disappeared.
Sure. It was quite a ways above you, and then on the map it was over on the east side, but if it's moving with the storm, then it'd be moving around. So why don't you make a perception check at disadvantage?
Okay. So I don't think my perception is right on here because I have a double proficiency bonus when I'm looking for things. So I have to add another 5 onto whatever
Okay.
I roll, but I'll
Perfect.
roll it now.
So 17?
So I haven't seen anything. Because I think that's going to be a 14 if I add 5 to that 9.
All right, disadvantage.
Yeah.
Here I am just ignoring what I just said. Yeah, you don't notice anything where you are.
Okay, well, I'm going to ready my breath weapon, and if anything appears that I don't like, I'm going to breathe at it.
Fair enough.
What did you think of Rilu before the battle was there?
What's that?
No, I'm saying, what did he think of Rilu before the battle? I mean, I know how big of a... No, I'm just kidding.
Are you continuing up, or are you just staying at the bottom of the cloud?
Yeah, I think I'll continue up a bit, yeah.
Okay. So, Hino, as Nylair has flown up and looks like they're ready to breathe fire into the cloud, if something appears, what do you do?
Well, I'm going to fly towards the cloud,
Okay.
and I'm going to go with my compulsion thing. Maybe you can get him to get this whatever thing to, leave. For
Sure.
a little bit at least.
All right. So, if something appears, or rather, if the creature that you saw appears, you're going to cast compulsion. And Rich, if something you don't like appears, which we're going to leave that open ended for now to see how things go,
Yes.
you're going to breath weapon it. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So we're now going to the top of the round. On the next round, the others will appear in the next wave. So George and the general keep just plan for what you're gonna do on the top of next round or at the end of next round. And actually, sorry, for both Hino and Nylair, I need you to make con saving throws. Excellent. So Hino, you are going to take 15 necrotic damage, whereas Nylair manages to kind of shrug it off.
Clouds just make her so angry.
All right, let's see here. Oh, that's right. I moved it.
Oh, I can see it. I've seen something I don't like.
All right,
Can I breathe
so
at it?
appearing like as the vortex spins around, it appears out of the vortex there. Again, it's this combination of necks and heads, and you don't see any wings, but you do see like two like 4 claws of a draconic body as they slither out of... It looks like part of it is still sticking in the cloud, but it is technically visible now. Nylair, does that reach?
I got 120 foot on my line.
Oh yeah,
120
totally.
line. Yeah.
All right, so you're
So
gonna go
should I
ahead and
breathe. Yeah. So I'm gonna roll 12d10. 11d10.
Oh.
Too high.
too high. Roll lower.
Oh, 54.
Pretty average. Pretty average.
Yeah.
You had to even out that top roll by getting a 1.
Yeah.
However, because it is say for half, your lightning breath, fire breath,
Yeah.
Lightning.
Lightning.
does hit it, and you notice it doesn't do anything.
Ah. It's in a storm, isn't it? I guess. Maybe.
That was your held action, and then the compulsion would go off, so that's a wisdom save, correct?
Wisdom save, yes.
All right. Oh, I closed his character sheet again. What am I doing? I keep closing it to like get it out of my way, and then I'm like, oh, but wait.
Luckily, the giant dragon has no abilities that it's aware of.
Oh, yes.
A 17. What is your DC?
20.
20. Okay. So you feel
Yeah.
your magic take hold, and then some of its heads kind of shake, and it shakes off the effect.
Oh. Well, that's too tricky. Okay.
Funny story. Remember how we're designers and we think legendary actions are great? Yeah, this is when they're not.
I hate it when I'm on the player side.
Much funnier from the other side of the screen.
Right. All right, so that it's technically its turn. Those were your held actions. Perfect. It is actually going to also breathe.
Need two more.
It's going to do a line at Nylaire. So Nylaire, I need you to make a con saving throw.
Okay. 21.
21. Excellent. So you are going to make this. I'm just going to take averages here. You are immune to lightning, correct?
Yeah.
So you see this like breath come out of several of the mouths, and it almost seems like different breath weapons, and they merge and streak towards you. You manage to shrug off. You can see that there's like sparking electricity moving along it. That doesn't do anything to you, but you all are going to take 13 cold damage and 13 necrotic damage.
Okay. Got it.
And Rilhu, it is your turn.
I'm going to continue to fly through the sky, going in this direction and hiding.
Flying might be a tumbling with grace.
Yeah,
Might be a
yeah,
better
let's go
way
with
to
that.
say it.
Look, I'm following the swirl of the vortex.
Right.
I can see that I'm going with the grain at least.
Perfect.
But I am going to try and hide.
Okay.
Using stealth, and that is a 17 there.
There you
Am
go.
I still under that effect from earlier?
Which effect?
The effect that was affecting my mental abilities?
It has faded away.
Okay.
You also might note that you are no longer taking damage from being in the storm.
Good to know.
All right. Nylaire, what do you do?
Okay. I'm gonna frenzy, go into my primal fury, and then I'm gonna charge up to it and start tearing into it with my bite and
'Kay.
claws. So hopefully I can move that far. Right. So I have advantage on these attacks, so I'll do the bite first. So 21 to hit.
A 21 is what you need.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so that's 12 piercing, 4 lightning, which I guess it doesn't take, and then an extra 5, so 17 damage.
17. All right.
Okay, and then I got 2 claw attacks. So the first one hits and does 15 slashing. And the second one hits and does 23 slashing.
So 41 total?
I don't know, maybe.
We're designers, not mathers.
Right? You stop it with your mouth noises.
38, yeah, about 40. Yeah, 38 I think it was, plus whatever the bite was.
Gotcha. Okay. Anything else?
That is it. I am gonna stay there bravely and take it on.
Okay, as you
I'll wait the general, who I'm sure is going to be on his way with a cunning plan.
totally to give you that extra 60-12.
Really
Yeah,
high.
yeah.
It's really
as
high
you're
up.
as you're like biting into it and everything, like you can see white scales fall off, and it says,
You don't need to fight us. You can join us. Don't you want to join us?
Never.
nice. All right.
The water's great, as I say, being buffeted around.
You just stick your beak out. Come on in. The water's great. Let me see. At the end of your turn, make a con save.
Okay.
Oh,
No.
I don't know. One could be great. You know.
right. We're making some house rules on this one. You'll take 16 necrotic, and you feel like your scales kind of start to tighten and maybe flake off some. And it's going to make a bite attack at you.
Okay.
But a 20 misses you, doesn't it?
Does miss, yeah.
Okay. That was the end of your turn. Hino, what do you do?
I'm going to fly a little bit closer, and I'm going to breathe a line of acid at that thing.
Excellent.
Looks like it could withstand electricity, but maybe not so much with acid. DC 17.
DC 17.
Or dexterity. Oops, sorry.
All right, it is going to make it, but it is safe for half. So what is your damage?
Not bad.
So we'll call that 17. Excellent. Anything else?
That was it.
All right, so your line of acid sprays forward, melts away part of the like neck on a few of the dragon's necks, and then it comes to the top of the turn. So just before that, I need to snag George, whoop, and the general,
We're saying
who just are now entering the funnel at the bottom.
As we enter, I think Fezza goes, "Look, a giant dragon!" And yes, well spotted, Fezza. You stay here. I'll take it on myself. And he goes, "All right, oh, sir." And she flutters off to.
I just see her like doing the like she leans back and just like falls off.
Yeah, little wings. Yeah, you know.
Why don't you both click on your tokens and roll initiative?
Okey-doke. There we go. And...
Oh, nice.
As it should be.
All right, well, with that, Sando, Great General Sando, what do you do?
Yeah, I'm going to fly pretty close and definitely use a bonus action and examine this crazy fell creature.
Okay.
And then I'm going to breathe on it.
Excellent. Tell me about your breath.
So yeah, I'm gonna make sure that my line of fire does not hit my knight companion over there, and I'm gonna aim right into the body of it. So this beam of brilliant light shoots out, and let's have it make a dex save.
I think it's going to fail.
Good. I like it when we just announce that right ahead of time.
I'm pretty sure 16 is below any of your guys's.
And I'm going to continue to roll that same number because I don't want to change it up. I'll just keep rolling 9s over and over again because that's just easy. Yeah.
Just call it your damage from now on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna it's like point at the field. I call it. Yeah, so I'm gonna blast it with fire, and there, it's weakest there. And
Excellent. Yeah, and it seems to be like a bunch of its scales burn and flake away. You managed to actually one of its heads. It's just like this charred remain. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. At the end of your turn, I need you to make a con saving throw.
Yep. I keep picking up dice from my thinking dice. Con saving throw. Here we go. 11.
Okay.
First try.
You are going to take 22 necrotic as the area within the storm seems to just be draining to your I was gonna say your person, your dragonness. Your scales kind of begin to tarnish, and you sent Feza away.
Feza's watching from outside the cloud, going, "Oh, it's gonna take hours."
And then it is going to actually it might not be able to. Let's see. Dun dun dun. Okay, it is going to do a thing, and that thing is
We accept your surrender.
right. One of its mouths opens, and you hear and a flashing orb of color flies out towards you.
Yes, it does.
I say, a flashing orb of color flies out towards you.
I can't do anything. I have no action button. Or do I?
There we go. Make a.
Oh. I was like, wait, am I supposed to? Is that a clue for me to do something? For you to do something?
No, I'm just waiting for it to load. What the heck?
Oh, okay.
You need to make a dex save?
No, it's a spell attack.
It is a ranged attack. Why is it saying save DC? Psh.
Because something else happens with. I don't know.
Because it's a spell, it's standard operating procedure
Weird.
for it to be popped on there when you populated it and like that.
Okay, so does
is-
a.
It does not.
So that's without its spell casting. Does a 32 hit you?
Too high.
Oh,
It's one right past.
Near 'em.
Yeah. Right on
Oh,
my head.
right. Mer? Oh, okay. I see what it did. Okay.
I love that it wanted the D8 roll so it could tell me damage type, but then added a D6 because you upcast it. So then it's a 13, which is off the chart. So I'm now knowing.
Okay, so you're gonna take 13 and then roll a D8 for me.
Okay.
Maybe you'll get lightning, or sorry, fire.
Nope. Unfortunately, cold.
Cold. So you're gonna take 13 cold damage
All right.
as this orb hits you. It turns to like a kind of an icy blue, and ice starts to spread across your chest.
I should ask, how far is Feza from me?
So you left her at the bottom.
Yeah.
What is your? Did she fly away or did she leave?
Covering where I left her, sort of like just at the.
So I would say she's probably 50 feet from you.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. So all that damage I just took, she takes it. I'm like, did not hurt me at all. And Feza's like,
ow! Does that include the necrotic and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So your
oh my.
scales are nice and shiny. You don't feel a thing.
I'm
George,
invulnerable. Apparently.
you see as the pixie goes, ah! What would you like to do, George?
Well, now I kind of want to save the pixie.
Oh, she's fine.
Okay. This happens all the time. All right, it's cool.
Save the pixie,
It's
save the
cool.
world.
Right, Sarah, hold on.
Save the world.
All right. Well, if I can like charge at it. I definitely want to. I don't know. Far out.
Sure.
Oh no, I'm too far. I think I can only fly 60. Curses outside of my range. Okay.
Curses.
Yeah, so I guess I will just... Where's 60? 60 is about next to the general. Okay, so I will fly up next to the general. This is a really pretty map. Cool. And I guess, you know what? I haven't used my breath weapon this whole time. I guess I'll do that.
Okay.
And as a green dragon, I'm a poison in a 60-foot cone, so I'm gonna try and like out the side of my mouth so I don't hit my friends.
Totally. I feel like it's a con save, isn't it? You're like one of the dragons that isn't a dex save.
That would be relevant information for you, yes. DC 21 con save.
Whoa, a spicy breath weapon.
Well, it is going to make it, but
Well,
it does also save for half. Nice. So
Yeah,
it's going to
50.
take 29 poison
Woo!
damage. Is there
I
any
got
other
to do my thing.
right? Is there any other effect that it has being poisoned? Like, does it cause the poisoned effect or anything? It's just damage. Okay, I just want to double check. All right, so you
Yes.
flew up, you breathed your weapon. Anything else?
I have a question, actually.
I'm gonna
I can throw in
growl
on-
menacingly at it.
I can throw in on George's behalf.
Yeah.
Would a breath weapon count as a weapon attack? He says, as a player. As a GM, and a designer, I already know the answer to this question. But as a player, I'm going to ask.
I'm pretty sure it's not, but I like your thinking.
It is not, Brian.
In the way that your ability works, I would say it probably is not what they were intending.
It says weapon and it says breath weapon. Okay, no, it's fine.
That's not the definition of weapon.
Right?
No, I'm helping.
I do like your thinking,
Weapons,
though.
anything you hurt someone with. I think that counts.
See, if I was on your side of the table, I'd totally be arguing with you. Like, yeah, that's totally, it says
In
weapon.
the question, and I'm like, oh, I know the answer to this question.
Now you're making me think, well, great. Now we have to rename all of the breath weapons for Tales of the Valiant.
Right?
Because if it says weapon, then people like Brian are going to be like, it's a weapon, guys.
Breath,
You're killing me, Brian. You're killing me.
I am 100%
breath
sure I'm
spray,
not the first person to
breath
ask this
line. All right, so Real Who flying around in the form of a sparrow. You can kind of make out that there are like flashes of light and there's bursts of fire and stuff. What would you do?
Yeah, so I actually, now that they're all away from me, I shape change back into myself.
Okay.
And I am going to fly as far as I can over here. Shape changing is an action, so I don't think I'd be able to dash. But I get over here and I'm aiming to get above all of them.
Okay.
All 2, 3, 4, 5, all 5 of them. And get as close as I can, angling up for something for next turn.
Okay. Treats, right? You're gonna be like, here's some dragon treats. This one's for
Sure.
you, and this one's for you. Excellent. Nylair.
Steaks for everyone.
Okay. I'm gonna try and bite it. Have I got 12 damage if I hit Brian?
Yes, you do.
Try and hit. 26 to hit.
That'll hit.
So that's 15 piercing. And I'm gonna roll 12.
It shrugs off that lightning damage. It's like, pff, whatever.
Yeah. 30 extra damage.
Nice.
From tactical now. And then I'm going to try and hit it with 2 claws.
Yowza.
Face the pain of my tactical brilliance.
So 18's not going to hit. 26 is going to hit, so that's another 16 slashing.
Okay. Minus 15, minus 30, minus 16, did you say?
Yeah, 16, yeah.
Wow, yeah, you're just tearing chunks of this thing out, and it begins screeching. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Hino. There's like this shower of dark blood and white scales falling around your friend as they tear into this strange dragon. What do you do?
Let's brighten things up with a prismatic spray.
Okay.
That I will aim the cone to avoid my compatriots.
I suppose. And it is
Need a
a
dexterity saving.
Thank you. And it fails. Wow.
Wow, this is cool.
All right, well, let's see what the random die roll says. Come on, 8. Oh,
4.
poison.
Better than lightning.
10d6. Same here. 10d6. 36
not
poison
bad.
damage.
All right.
Oh, and yeah, so I'm gonna spend more points to viciously hit it with a firebolt. So I need to make a ranged spell attack.
Okay.
All right. Let's just.
We're all waiting in anticipation. Holy crap. Yep, that's going to hit. And
Cool.
you're going to double your dice that you roll for it.
Oh,
All right. So
Hit it with a
at
zinger.
11th level, it's and
So since that was poison and was coming like from over my shoulder, George totally thinks that it's just like it was a really big like breath weapon. That he's like
right?
super awesome. Like, yeah, that's right.
little did we
and
know
then
about this elder dragon's critical weakness to limericks.
Nice.
all right. You put the abomination in Eldritch Abomination.
Oh,
There we go. That's my vicious mockery. I'll need a will save
I like
or
it.
wisdom save.
Oh, I did it again. I'm like, where's the sheet? I closed it. A wisdom save, you say?
I do, and it failed.
19.
20 was the target.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so it's going to take 9 psychic damage.
Nice.
And it'll next attack roll.
Perfect. Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Sounds good. So just large chunks of this thing are beginning to fall away or become desiccated as we start the top of the turn order with the Great General.
Well, I'm going to use a bonus action and continue to point out weaknesses, which
Okay.
are probably pretty evident. It's almost like I'm dragon-splaining now. But let me see if I get my breath weapon back. Come on, I clicked you. Roll. Which I do, and I promptly use it again.
Nice.
Alright,
Dex
so
save,
dex
correct? Okay.
Yep, that save DC 17. Pretty good.
It will fail.
Oh, all right. Then it's going to take another line of fire. Oof. I want one
Holy
better.
moly.
There you go.
Okay.
And I'm going to telepathically, I'll roar to Feza to take note of my actions for the Chronicles.
Perfect. Excellent. All right. So, let's see. Now that I just remembered what I've been forgetting, I need you. I'm not going to retcon and make people who don't need to. Just make a con saving throw. Let's see if we can kill your pixie.
For her.
No, it is yours, but since your damage goes to her,
Oh yeah. So that would be a 8.
so
It's a lot of ones.
right? So 13
Nice.
necrotic damage
Okay.
to you, which then transfers to Feza.
Oh yeah. She's still fine.
Yeah.
Half goes to her.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was one
Hey,
hardy
okay.
pixie.
Very
Well,
one.
my training, the training regimen I put her on, clearly has made her rise above the average pixie.
Right?
No kidding.
All right. On its turn. Okay, so everyone except for Rilhu, because you already got rid of the effect and you are now immune to it, needs to make an intelligence saving throw.
How was it saved? Of course.
Nice. And let's see. Nylaire is the only one that needs to. Perfect. Okay, so Nylaire and George.
Nylaire can reroll.
What's that?
I'm gonna use a reaction, and Nylaire can reroll.
Oh, nice.
Oh, thank
It's a legendary leader. It's the least I can do. No, reroll better.
I mean, it is better. It is a 12 is higher than an 8. So Nylaire and George, both of you have disadvantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws, as well as ability checks for the next minute. You can repeat the save at the end of each of your turns to end the effect on yourself. The rest of you are now immune. So if you succeeded or it goes away, you are immune for the next 24 hours.
Okay.
And then it will try to claw. Who is... I gotta zoom in. I can't see who this is. Nylaire.
you. Okay.
Does a 22 hit Nylaire?
It's good. Disadvantage
22 does not hit.
first
No.
attack.
Whew. That's terrible. You're a terrible ancient eldritch dragon.
To be fair,
George.
it's been a long time, and it doesn't really, hasn't that practice.
Right?
Yeah.
It has been asleep for a long time. George, what would you like to do?
So I want to do some shenanigans.
I like shenanigans.
I don't know if shenanigans are allowed. I want to cling to the. I know I can't grapple it because I'm way too tiny, but can I make a grapple check to latch on and then
Sure.
just bite it?
Yeah, if you just want to do an athletics versus its well, just make a claw attack. And if you
Claw or athletic? Well, they're the same bonus.
So if you hit with your claw, you could just you could do damage, but you can also say I'm grappling, I'm hanging onto it.
Okay.
That will absolutely hit.
It's a good hit.
Yeah. So I'm holding on.
Okay.
And I guess that's probably my action for the turn. Just holding on, and then I'm gonna start gnawing chunks out of it.
Okay. So you should have a bite attack as well, and another claw.
Oh, can I replace one of my I guess it is multi-attack. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I would just
sure.
say if you wanted to grapple, you could just use your hit and then hang on, you're clawing into it to use the damage, and then you still have your other claw and your bite. So
I'm cool with that. All right, let's claw again.
shenanigans, right?
Yeah, I like. Oh, and he's bigger than me, right?
He
He's
is
officially larger. Okay, so then all of my attacks are at advantage.
He's definitely bigger than you.
All right, cause I'm small but fierce.
Wait, let's. I'm just
Kidding.
gonna zoom in so that you're actually on the screen here, and
This is
we'll
like
just
the
do a
Death
size
Star Trek.
comparison.
I am mighty. Hear
That's
me
right.
roar.
All right, so the 22 will hit, 28 hits, awesome. And do you do extra damage for punching up?
I think it's just advantage. If there's any extra?
Gotcha. Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
no, there's
you upped
if
your.
I crit.
Okay, so There's a whole bunch of damage going on there. There is 16, 29, 44. Okay.
And then I guess I'll follow it up with, I am George, defender of the weak. You shall fall.
Just
So
imagining this. She's chewed this crater out of its hide.
Right? You almost like so Sando and Nylair, you're like right there as George like comes flying up, lands on one of its heads, just like digs a hole into its neck, and is like almost like you just see like it's George's back feet sticking out of this hole that it's created. All right. On the end of your turn, George, you go ahead and make a con save. Excellent.
Con and the int. So I'm assuming the int does not get rid of the
The
other
int
thing.
does not, but the con, you are fine from the ickiness of the storm, and it is going to. It doesn't like any of this. None of it whatsoever. So. I need. What does this do here? Sando, Nylair, sorry, George, and Real Who.
I think I'm in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all of us.
And he knows just within it too. All of you need to make con saves.
Okay.
So is that the right DC? 18.
It actually should be 21, but
Oh,
we'll just call it the 18 because it just wants to roll that for some reason. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent.
average.
8d6.
Let's roll it up there, actually. I think, or maybe that doesn't look like very much, but it says 20 up there.
Yeah, if you upcast it, it would be 31.
I'm sorry, what?
It populated the spell above.
Oh,
right
you're
before
right.
the-
My apologies. I go reading it and it's wrong. So it needs 46 more.
No.
Well, did you upcast it?
Yep.
Yeah, so then the total is 31. It already rolled that before it gave you the description.
Did it? You stop.
Oh, look at that.
Excellent. You all know what to do. Why don't you finish this stream off? I'm gonna go get a coffee and a
We
beer.
don't have a cool sound effect thing.
I'm going to go get a cool coffee and a beer.
Okay. So yeah, it spits out, like several of the heads spit out like these little balls of like black flickering flame that meet and then explode out from there, and dealing you all some necrotic damage depending on if you made your save or not. That was so Real Who, it's your turn.
Yes.
What do you do?
Okay. So, where I'm at and where I came from puts me about 50 feet above everyone else.
Yep.
Then flying over here, that's 35 feet. So my movement is 80. So 50 plus another, was it 45? 50, 50 plus another 45, 195 feet above them. I fly above Gerdunas, and I shape change into a mammoth.
Okay.
My goal is to knock him out of the sky, out of the clouds. I'm very sorry, George. Sorry, not sorry. And it's my goal to
It'll be epic.
deal as much falling damage to him as possible, knocking him out of the sky and out of the cloud.
So you said you were 195 feet above him?
Yes, and I shape changed into a 6-ton mammoth.
So why don't you go ahead and... I'm going to have it do a dex save
Okay.
to see if it can get out of your way. We're going to do this as a half damage as opposed to it just like moving out of the way and you just fall all the way to the ground, because that's
Sure.
boring. So it's going to do a dex save. What is your dragon DC?
We can go with 17, I think.
Okay.
It seems to be the consistent DC across all of my abilities here.
It is going to make it, but go ahead and roll 19d6.
Okay.
George, make a dex save at advantage.
That's good.
Nice. So, George, you managed to get out of the way completely as this mammoth crashes into Girdunis. You can hear the snapping of bones as necks just like compress and crunch, skulls get smooshed. There's like just a handful of heads still moving. It is still aloft. It is not doing well whatsoever. That was your... make sure you take that damage yourself as the mammoth.
Sure. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Are you still in mammoth form?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
because
they did.
My hit points are the same whether I'm shape changed or not.
Oh, gotcha. It's not like druid
Yeah.
shape changing.
So, am I taking the full damage that I would have dealt?
You
or
are going to
half,
take...
or-
Yeah, you are going to... Actually, no,
Okay.
let's have it because it moved partially out of the way. So you'll take the...
half of that, so 35.
Yeah, 35. Yep.
Okay.
How high up are we?
I think you're only like 70 feet, I think, at this point from the ground. So not vastly. All right.
You just killed like eight phalanxes of troopers smashing into the
Right.
Hopefully not as.
Is this the part where George gets to yell, "You didn't think we'd bring a mammoth, did ya?"
I love
And I say one word in Draconic, Tauroven, which means betrayal.
it. You don't like stand up as a dragon. You're like, betrayed. All right. Is that your whole turn?
That was an action. That was my movement. I don't think I have anything as a bonus action. I will see if. Oh, cool! I get my breath weapon back.
Okay. Nylair. Actually, let me...
Feza, make note that I told him to become a mammoth. Sir!
Nope, it can't do any of those things. Nylair, what do you do?
Well, I'm going to start by biting it. So that's a 28 to hit.
Yeah.
So 19 piercing. Have I got 60-12 ago?
Yes, you do.
Excellent. So another 52.
So, I don't want to, like, infringe on any trademarks here, but how do you want to do this?
Well, I think, well, I've bitten it, haven't I? So I'm going to kind of bite through a whole load of necks and take a whole load of heads off, I think.
Okay. As you rip through and just, like, you bite into a section where, like, the necks kind of meet, and you just rip out, and you realize attached to that was, like, a good chunk of its innards, and you see its heart, like, kind of come out with it and spill out over and begin to fall. And whatever it's holding it aloft, you don't see any wings behind it or whatever, but it begins to fail and begins to fall. Do you stay on it, George and Nylair, or are you riding it down to the ground?
Yeah,
I'm not riding.
You gotta double tap that and make sure, because I mean it's like half storm. I don't know if it's coming back.
Okay.
Okay,
So
I'll hit it again a couple of times then as we go down.
sure. Go ahead and roll at advantage too.
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
another 18 and then another 19.
And George, are you gonna stay on it until it hits, or are you gonna try and fly off at the last moment?
I'll wait till like the very last second when I know that it's not gonna like suddenly reawaken and catch itself and fly off into the distance or something, because you never know.
Right.
Magic stuff is crazy.
Right. All right. So why don't you
but
just
yeah,
make
no,
a
I don't want to hit the ground.
why don't you make a dex save at advantage?
It's like an elevator. Just jump right before you hit.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. You'd be
Perfect.
safe.
Good thing it wasn't the other way around.
Yeah.
You just watch George. All right. So as the carcass of this elder entity smashes into the ground, the storm like immediately begins to dissipate. That sucking, life-draining sensation fades away, and you can see beyond, not too far from where you are, as the mortal forces are routing the few remaining creatures that are still alive. There's a few demons that are putting up a fight, but for the most part you see like a necromancer hoofing it across this area. You see a vampire that's like had been using the storm as cover, just burst into flames and dissipate. What would you all do now that this battle has been won?
And first of all, I land on the body of the giant demon and say, "Wait, I have been victorious!" And Fez is going to use, dancing lights and prestidigitation to make it a real memorable moment.
Nice. Does she have like major image or anything? Could she recreate
No,
this later?
Dancing lights and prestidigitation. And
Okay.
she's druidcraft, prestidigitation, and mage light and dancing lights. To make it look nice.
Perfect. Yeah. If this was a Kodak moment, this image would be amazing. You could definitely like sell it on the internet.
I'm the Fabio of Dragonkind.
I love it. George,
Am I still
Yeah, go for it,
am I
real.
s- am I still falling as a mammoth? Or am
Would
I
you
if I
want to fall as a mammoth?
well, I would want to break my fall if I'm continuing to fall.
Yeah, you could.
Or roll answer, or
So
the
as
regular
you're-
fight?
Yeah.
When it came by the rules, when it came back to your turn, you could technically use your action to.
Right.
Yeah,
Which is
that's a really weird question. I mean, that's a really good question. It's a really weird scenario.
You want to know the answer?
Because
Sure.
technically, you'd be falling, wouldn't you?
Technically, at the end of his last round, he would have fallen 450 feet into the
Yeah.
ground. But
Okay.
that's not fun.
I mean,
Yeah.
you only had 60 or 70 feet to fall anyway. So, how many hit points
Yeah.
do you have left?
127.
Well, let's just see, because you couldn't, you wouldn't die, no matter.
No, maybe crush that vampire.
He's like running on fire, and then a mammoth just wishes. Sorry, that was right next to the microphone. If that was so loud, I apologize.
Perfect.
All right, so George, what would you do from here? These are the important questions in case there's a follow up. Listen to you
Like
creating a monster
immediately?
for my own game.
Immediately after the battle, or like just like long term?
Kind of both. Like, what's your immediate reaction, and then what do you do with this victory?
Well, immediately afterwards, George has got to make sure that the mortals are as safe as possible,
Okay.
and that the eggs are safe. Got to make sure. I mean, just because there was a fortress in front of the door doesn't necessarily mean that something didn't get through. I mean,
True.
ghosts are very suspect.
Yeah, in
So
the
gotta check on all
corner
the
of
eggs.
one of the crenellations, you do find like a skeleton who's just gotten lost and is just like standing in the corner, like waiting for someone to tell him what to do, and you just can like flick him and he just explode. But other than that, it doesn't appear as if any of the opposing army made it in.
Okay, that's good. Good, that's important. And then I guess there was promise of a feast, which sounds like fun. Hopefully they serve rat. And then long term, I mean, I don't know. There's a fortress here now, so maybe George can help like protect the fortress that protects the hatchlings.
How long does that fortress last?
I believe 7 days, unless we keep casting it over and over again for a year.
So that begs the question: what does the general do from here? Do you stay here for the next year casting Mighty Fortress?
Crazy.
But it could be the fortress of the Egg Wardens, General. Come on.
Well, no, I mean, I clearly, first of all, it's probably a speaking tour where I'm going around to various military academies and lecturing about my great victories. If there's any other battles that come up, I mean, I'm sure my services will be called upon. But I think if there is like opportunity for it, he might open up a soldier academy of his own.
Nice.
To teach, what he's learned.
I like it.
Along a strict military regiment, so that everybody has their own and just like I had Feza, so that it's important to maintain the proper decorum when fighting.
Absolutely. In fact, there's an entire like family of pixies related to Feza that join, and they follow in her wing flaps, not her footsteps, but her wing flaps. Excellent.
Yeah, I'm imagining every student gets their own pixie.
I like it. All right, Hino. What does Hino do with the next few moments and the foreseeable future?
Well, immediately, he's going to help celebrate with the mortals on par with the galactic celebration at the end of, I will not say the name of the movie, just in case. But after that, he will go around to various scholars and recount the details of this battle so that they can record it for history.
Nice. Yeah, there's actually these little furry humanoids just come out of nowhere, and they're singing this song that should stay in the end credits and not be replaced by another song. It's glorious.
No.
How about you, Nylair? What do you do?
Well, in the short term, I'm going to have a very long sleep. And then she's going to take some anger management classes. And then she's going to find a kind of a mortal city and is going to shape change into human form and live amongst them and kind of basically keep an eye on what they get up to. But she'll be ready to be called upon by the dragons again if needed.
Nice. I'm definitely seeing NPC action or returning PCs if you all have the time at some point in the future. So here's the important question. Real who?
If I survived.
Which you survived. Yeah, you survived
okay,
the
cool.
fall.
All right. So, unwilling to face whatever consequences may have come from
what consequences?
No
of
one
what?
saw you do it.
No one saw you do it.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I thought someone did see me do it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, the gold dragon that fell to his death.
Okay. I didn't actually catch that he actually died.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
When he was barely living when he like started falling, and then the kid
Sure.
the sudden stop at the end
Mhm.
is what killed him.
If not, I'd like to retcon that the mammoth killed him.
It was all of us together.
He just actually. So you hit the vampire who's running away from the sun, squish, and then you bounce, and you like the gold dragon's just starting to like get up and crawl. He's got like just a few hit points left. He's like, I'm so glad.
That's unfortunate. I attempt to make a very compelling argument that Levno-san pledged me his hoard should he have perished
in his last moments.
I'm prepared to do so. And then after that, I would go to seek wherever Girdunas would have kept his hoard. because a draconic being of that magnitude surely has to have some pretty sweet loot somewhere.
So as the last roll of the game, I'm going to move over and zoom in so that everyone can see what you roll. I need you to do a deception check to get that hoard.
Why do I not have that skill? All right. It is just a charisma check. Unless you'd allow me to make a performance or persuasion.
Let's do performance.
Okay. Yeah, I make a great big show of it. And that is a 23.
All right, and I'm just gonna roll d20, and I'm gonna add 3 to it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you definitely made it.
Cool.
In his
Well,
last
that's on
moments, he wanted me to have his hoard.
Yeah, so I want to go and find Gerdunus' hoard, but having all of this extra wealth now, I think I'm going to take a leaf out of Nailir's book and take a nap.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. You know, you get woken up to go battle an elder dragon, and what do you have left? Just nap time. Thank you all for playing this. I hope you had fun being dragons, throwing down some massive destruction on little creatures that have no chance against you, and then fighting something that should have had a better chance against you if it didn't roll so freaking horribly. But I'm really happy with the outcome. I'm glad you all made it. Why don't we do a round of outros? Ruhu, were you going to say something? Sorry.
No, I'm paying attention to you.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry, I thought I heard something. Let's do a round of outros and just say who you are, where to find you on the internet, and if you have any projects that are upcoming or ongoing, why don't you let us know about those? So let's start if I point this way. Real Who, tell us about your real person and who you played and all of those things.
I am Sebastian Rombach. You can find me in most internet spaces as Sebastian Rombach or Don't Break the DM. I'm working on some Kobold Press stuff right now and playing D&D every chance that I get.
Nice. Excellent. And who would you like to go next?
Let's go Mike.
Oh, right. I'm Mike Wellham. I am only on Facebook. You can find me as Mike Wellham. I do have a blog that I contribute to, mythopoeicrambling.wordpress.com, where I've been doing a monster a week for the Dungeon 23 project. You'll see me on the blog here and there, Kobold Press. And I'm doing a little bit of work for Tales of the Valley, just a teeny bit. But that's me. Let's go to Brian.
All right.
Okay. I am Brian Suskin. I played the great General Sando and, of course, Feza. You can find me at most of the web spaces as Brian Suskin. I'm on the Kobold blog a lot. I'm currently, if you don't know about this, Kobold Press's Tales of the Valiant has about 5 or 6 days left of its Kickstarter. We're almost $1 million. And if you want some great rules for D&D adjacent brand new game setting or game rules, come check us out. I'm also the co-lead designer on Draco Studios' Dragon Bond project, which we're frantically writing, which is going to be some pretty fun stuff. Working out with Sarah Madsen, so that's a lot of fun. And hope to see everybody out there.
When does that come out?
Tales of the Valiant is next year at some point, and we should be delivering Dragon Bond a little bit later this year.
That sounds awesome. Everyone keep an eye out for it. The link for the Kickstarter that is ongoing for Tales of the Valiant is in the chat or the show notes if you're watching this on YouTube. Who's going after you, Brian?
Let's go to Meagan, because she's directly below me on my screen.
Yay! My name is Meagan Markle. I am the senior game developer at Kobold Press. You can find me online at GM Moonwolf on Twitter. Otherwise, just most of the Kobold Press channels. Find me there. And then today I played George the Dragon Knight. That was a lot of fun.
Nice. All right, and last but not least, Richard.
Hi, so I'm Richard Green. I was playing Nylaire. I'm on Twitter as richgreen01, or I have a blog, richardgreengames.com, where I write about my game design work and also all my D&D games that I'm running. And that was probably it. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. And I know we went over on our planned time, and you are in the future from me, like 7 hours. So I really appreciate that you stuck with us. And you're the one who took down the Eldritch Evil. So awesome. Thank you all.
Richard, that means I owe you the first drink when we meet up in London next week.
Excellent. Thank you.
And I will definitely get you one the next time I'm in London. Which we could all do like a day trip, right?
That's
Yeah.
right. I'll go visit
Should
Richard.
all come over.
Nice. Any last things anyone wants to throw out there?
Thank you very much for running the game. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I appreciate it. I'm Jeremy Hochhalter. You can find me here on Twitch at Wanderers Haven. Sorry, and you can head over to Twitter and find me at WH Pubs. I think that is it for today. Thanks so much. Actually, let me rephrase that. This evening at 9 p.m. Eastern, tune in to the same channel for Star Trek Adventures Forefront Episode 6, I believe, as they are playing. I'm not going to be there for this episode. I'm looking forward to see what they do as they are about to face off against a Romulan warbird. We'll see how that goes. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Everybody.
I